I know one guy that we both know actually, and he told me that the darkest time in his life was when he was a homosexual. I said, what the hell is that? He said, he was dating for accommodation.
Wow.
I said,
I promise you, her spec currently is, do you have a guest bedroom? Anybody has guest bedroom is her spec right now. Hello, boys and girls.
Hello, all.
Hi. We have a guest today.
We do.
The bounce is what?
Is irritated. I hate rainy days in Lagos.
It's like T-Pain is affecting the climate. No.
Why has it been raining so much?
And also, the rain is not even like a huge
drizzle.
Like, end of rainy season rain. It's as in it's raining with vim.
And I had the guts to do a premiere outdoors this weekend. The following day, the rain that fell, I knew that God loves me.
Yes, it was on Friday. Yeah. The rain fell on Friday. Yes.
I was like, if this had happened the day before,
it would have been
a disaster.
It would have been crazy.
But how did it go? Oh, sorry guys, we have Arese. We have Arese with us of Smart Money Everything fame. So yeah, sorry, Arese just premiered. Actually, introduce yourself.
Yeah,
just introduce yourself.
Guys,
say who you are.
Okay, my name is Arisa. I'm the author and producer of The Smart Money Woman, which was first a book. Then I went on a Pan-African book tour. And then I turned it into a TV series that went on Africa Magic, then Netflix. And now we've produced season 2 and it is going to be streaming on YouTube.
Starting when?
October 31st.
Yeah, so which is tomorrow.
Yeah,
guys.
That's basically.
So subscribe to our Azua Studios page, please.
Yeah. Okay, so how was the premiere? How did that go?
It was amazing.
How do you feel ahead of premiere?
It's very, very hectic. To be very honest, I didn't know if I could pull it off because it's like, first of all, you've already spent all this money trying to produce the thing. Then it's now time for marketing and you're trying to come up with cute and creative ways to put the word out there. But I wanted it to look a little bit different.
Mm-hmm.
So we did it at Pier Harbor.
Okay. That's quite nice.
Very pretty waterfront, property with a pool and everything. It was outdoors, put a screen outside. It was fun. It was nice to finally see an audience reaction to what we had created.
Because the time lag is so long. So that's the thing with creating anything for TV. People don't get it. They think you're not excited anymore. But it's that I created it to you.
Probably
you've been working on it for years, for so long. And you're probably working on something else by the time
it's coming out.
By the time it's coming out.
Yeah.
So you're still hoping what's the word? Sort of cultural references you've made are still relevant. You're anxious about all those other things.
Yeah.
So even slangs. It doesn't matter what it is. A song you had in mind at the time
would have been popping,
but
now
it might look dated. So it's stuff like that can get pretty. But very well done.
Thank you so much.
But what did you do this weekend other than the premiere?
Well, I went to a party. I went to a brunch.
Yeah.
Some of my friends were in town from Abuja for the premiere, so they dragged me out the entire weekend. So it was fun.
Yeah.
I love when people from outside Lagos come. Well, I love it and I also hate it because I'm just okay, now you have to do something, but also one has to now spend money on new people's activity. I actually did not do a single thing this weekend.
Did I even spend money this weekend? I don't think I did. I like free enjoyment.
That's the only kind that, honestly, these days with the prices of things, I'm like, which one do you want to go to dinner? Are you paying?
Yeah. Most important question.
If you are not paying, we better find whose house
we're going to.
No, that's the only way. So I didn't do anything this weekend. I was kind of laid out. It was one of those ones.
I saw you.
Yeah, that's true.
I saw you. I went for a wedding. I feel like that's all I do these days.
I can't lie, man. Last marriage is actually a big fool this year.
Wow.
No, you don't get the number of weddings that I have. I'm just
what's going on?
This 2024 just said, see.
Yeah, while I was in the car to your house, I got a message about a wedding
On the day he came to my house,
2025.
they dropped somebody's Ashwebi for November. I said, wait a minute.
Like November, like the next month.
I had completely forgotten that I had even bought the thing. I even forgot the wedding, everything. I just said, God, I beg.
Yeah, so many.
And it's just, obviously, everyone is their own special day. So, like, you have to go and celebrate. But, wow.
Weddings are so fun, though.
They are.
Lagos weddings are incredible.
Yeah,
it's the best free enjoyment, I think.
Yeah. There's such an, I saw someone at the wedding on Saturday and it was clear this was her first, like, Lagos. She just kept being like, sorry,
what's going
this
on?
What you guys do? Is this a wedding? I was like, well, I mean, to some degree, yes, but she's like, oh my God, what was it? She said, like it's that she thank goodness I don't have like sensory issues, something like that.
Because
it's so overwhelming. There's so much going on, but it was nice. It was really, really nice.
I love how other like cultures have started like doing their own Ashwebi as well.
So people have a thing an issue with that too. I don't get
Ashwebi?
Yeah, that other countries have started doing like Ashwebi.
I don't get why people harp on about things that don't affect them in any way.
Exactly.
Yeah. Like if someone in, I don't know, East Africa decides to do Ashwebi, I sincerely want to know how it affects anybody.
I think if anything, well, it's a cultural export.
It is.
Like I love it.
I know that they got it from like
a Nigerian designer.
Whatever.
I think it's a soft power versus appropriation misunderstanding. So the thing I've always, because I've had this like discussion with it was an argument, it wasn't even a discussion. But I think people sometimes confuse soft power and appropriation. So in the instance where the interesting thing is you are the dominant culture and the people who are, for lack of a better word, sort of like emulating what you are doing are probably like softer in terms of like culture. It's different. Now, if they were the dominant culture, I can understand the fear because it's then easy in a few years for them to be like
appropriate.
However, if your culture is like a bit more dominant, I don't get also, it's just, is it an exchange? I don't know. I think people are afraid of things that I feel like it's one of those imported talking points. And people are a bit irritable, but they are making it like it's anger. I'm like, if you're irritated, that's one thing. You're like, why are they copying our thing?
Personally, I honestly don't even understand the irritation. I just don't see how it's my business.
I just feel like we need to get on with it.
Yeah.
There's no point in like being obsessed that people are copying you. I love the fact that where you go everywhere, people want to know about our food, our music, our movies. Like, we're the new colonizers.
I saw a very similar debate about like obviously, many cultures have like Agbada variant, but there is a very like Nigerian, especially maybe even particularly Yoruba type of Ashoke Agbada, this one, that one. And people were dragging, somebody else wearing Agbada, this one, that one, and it's cultural. And I just said, what exactly are you talking about?
It's exportable value.
And I'm just like, what? Like all the things you wear, you think were the ones that came up with it.
Our shit is just lit.
Like that's it. It's
someone saw a really nice outfit and was like, I want.
And I'm like, okay, so what do you want the Black Americans
Not
to
even
say
that.
to us?
Just even think about. Think about the amount of money that fashion designers in Nigeria will be making, like selling their clothes in dollars to people that are in South Africa, Ghana, Uganda, Kenya, because they want to look like us. I don't think there's anything wrong with it
at all.
It's soft power.
Yeah, I found that, and it was very like passionate. I couldn't believe it. So I was like,
sorry, I don't actually even get it.
Because they were like, but everybody has their own culture. I was like, the difference is maybe because of the way Nigeria is and the way we are as individuals.
Yeah.
We don't respect it because it comes, what we see often, but we're not wearing what our grandparents or parents are wearing. So your cultural clothes. I saw an argument about Ashoke one day and people were acting like Ashoke is like super precious. I was like, I have Ashoke shorts, mini skirts. It is part of my regular life. Adira is part of my everyday life.
It's not actually
so
that
our
serious.
Culture is woven and like I remember the first time I saw like the Komole thing. And I remember thinking, I was looking at it with my mom and she was like, oh, this is such a beautiful idea because their generation was a bit, they didn't have much to do with their Ashoke. Maybe max, if your parents are pretty chill, you wear a lace buba. hero with your booba, but the fact that we have changed it so entirely, I found that conversation highly interesting. I was like, this is so odd to me. I'm too arrogant for that. I'm so sorry. I'm like,
we don't have enough problems.
I'm always just like, okay, sorry, but it seems obvious that they're copying us. What else are they going to do?
Well, I'm so late.
I also don't blame them. So, everything is sweet on this side. There's nothing. And also, I fundamentally believe that there is a spirit about Nigerians. You know how to throw a party. And so everything that has to do with parties, weddings, if you don't copy it, it cannot be sweet. Yeah. These are just the things.
There was someone that asked us at a party, does this feel like a Lagos party?
Yeah.
It was so funny.
It was so funny because we were not in Lagos and I was like, this is such a funny question because I know actually exactly what you're talking about. He was like, are you having fun? But he was like, yeah, but is it like Lagos party fun?
Because it's very special.
Very sweet. Very... It's just like the food flowing and the drinks coming like this. Are you really in it? And I was like, this is such a specific answer that you're looking for. That is just so funny to me.
Yeah. I was listening to a podcast when I was coming about it's called Scamfluencers. It's very interesting. And it's about a chess guy.
I listened to one season of that about some weight loss influencer. Deeply fascinating.
The one I was listening to today is about a chess guy. And it made me think of how much you lose out when your economy is not developing at a particular rate. Because one of the guys, the world champion at the time, his name was Magnus. Magnus had a website. So there's chess.com and then Magnus has a chess website. And so, at 31, when he was 31, chess.com bought his website. So I was listening, I was like, oh, that's nice. For $81 million.
Wow.
I said,
What are they doing there?
I said,
who are those playing?
Said, yeah, he'd been the world champion for a decade. He's thinking of his legacy. I said, legacy? I just found this so interesting. And whenever I listen to Off the Cuff podcast, can be a crime podcast, you hear such niche, interesting, weird things about how people are able to just kind of double down on a very... It's so specific. It's so specific. It's an online site that people play and learn to play chess. And so chess.com was... So I said, so even chess... So you mean you have this money to buy, first of all? I found that so fascinating. And I was thinking about it just in general, how much people are able to just pick one thing. There's one guy I saw, he helps people set up their gyms.
Yeah.
That's all he does. It's like a business is worth $200-300 million.
My most interesting, fascinating business I've come across, the guy helps people set up their Zooms, video call set up at home. Oh, wow. So your sets that you do work videos on. So he helps.
I'm sure that was a COVID project.
It was, but now it's just everybody's home office. Mm-hmm. So it's really pretty, and he does all the setup for you, so that your background, even down to choosing the books that people can see in your background, so that you give a certain impression. And people are paying this man thousands of dollars for this service.
What?
So that, so that when they take calls or whatever, there's a lot of people,
people just think, oh, great
people
office,
will just think this is a phenomenal, just at work, everybody's just sitting down, I don't know, one white background, and then your whole office is set up, your lighting, everything.
Because you're serious about life.
And you just look like a serious, very serious individual.
That is...
And he's people just feel really good because you just look like, this is it. When they turn on the camera, no, this is a serious person. This is a person to do business with.
Do you think you'll do any if you could niche?
The problem is I never think about all these things. There was one guy that I listened to one business podcast. He sells ice shavings. Literally those cone ice things that they put for several hundred of millions of dollars.
Well, I think the thinking is always, if I need this thing, then there are probably other people who need it as well.
It's the economy they're in, right?
That's what I'm saying. And they're not even in America. That's not even a hot country. So I'm okay, here, how come? And I'm I can assure you can all.
It's the economy you're in. A super healthy economy allows people just
to have niche, super
very, very niche. You're able to spend time developing that, and people don't only like it from afar because they have the purchasing power to indulge.
Yeah, there's some guy that bought 30 car washes. And I just thought, what?
Oh, that's a
yeah, and he's in Nigeria. Which car? Funny enough, I was actually looking for a car wash.
But inside
as
of
in
the car.
to do not just the inside,
Not
like
to detail it.
proper polishing, all these things. I went online to find. I was just seeing all sorts of things. I said, so what you're saying to me is we don't have just a proper like. I'll just drive because they have all these. Will come to your house service. Okay, I don't want you to come to my house. Why can't I drive the car into that thing?
Because a lot of things in Africa, especially in Nigeria, we have to localize it.
Yeah.
So here in this part of the world, people have drivers.
And people wash
Most
your
middle
car.
class people have drivers. So they wash your car as well as, drive. But abroad, if you're a middle class person, there's no driver to do that.
It's a really good, there's one babe, Cody something, I forget her, Cody Sanchez, something like that. She does all this money, she's always ideas, whatever. So she has it on her YouTube channel. She was like, these are 10 businesses. You can something. There was one that was like power washing pavements.
I've seen that.
And she said, this is all you need. And when she was putting down the amounts that people pay for you to like power wash pavements, then she's like, if you have a friend, you guys can do a lawn and pavement service. Said lawn and pavement.
Yeah, in America, the people who make money from like road signs.
Yes.
Like being able to do the paint thing.
Yeah, on the sides of the roads or in the middle of the road demarcation. It's so interesting. Like, strong economies are fantastic.
All right, boys and girls, this fantastic episode of I Said What I Said is brought to you by AfriChange.
AfriChange is the easiest way to send money across Africa and internationally everywhere.
There are very low fees, no processing time, if any, very tiny, and you get loyalty points the more you use.
Yes. If you are in Nigeria, you can pay your bills in Canada. Mm-hmm. You can send money to Canada. Exactly. You can also pay your school fees in Canada directly from Nigeria in Naira. If you are in Canada, you can send money to many, many countries all over the world.
All right, guys, so get to supporting people who support us. Enjoy AfriChange and enjoy the rest of the episode.
That is africhange.com.
Anyway, Arese, before we get into our talk, we always have people writing.
We help them with their...
I see you guys on Instagram laughing all the time.
Is a loose word.
It's a loose word.
I just help very loosely.
Because you laugh at them.
Mostly, actually. But you know the funny thing, the number of people that write in saying, please laugh at me. Just so that I can receive correct. Yes. Because they know that they've been doing a lot of rubbish. And until we bring it out to the public. Okay, what do I want to... Which one do I want to do? Right. Do you have one?
Yeah.
I think all right, go on.
This person called themselves, says, hello, FK Jola and Arese. Well, they were possible guests, but Arese, I'm so happy I found your podcast, and it's honestly one of the many things I look forward to in the week. Onto my dilemma. I think I've put myself in one chance, and I need your help in figuring out how to get out of this situation. I've been with my man for a year, and although he's a great guy, I don't think we're compatible. Obviously, I know this basically means I have to break up with him. But the problem is, we moved in together earlier in the year, and my thought process at the time was that I was planning to move to a new city within the year, and I'll be able to save some more money before my big move. Unfortunately, life has happened, and I will not be moving this year. But I'm making plans to move between February and April 2025. However, I don't know if I should end things with him now and try to find another living situation, which could mean taking on a 1-year lease and probably extending my stay in this dead city. Or should I wait till I move before ending it with him? Although the second option seems like the easier route, I feel terrible that he'll be in the dark while I strongly am against our relationship.
What?
By the way, there is definitely not an option of breaking up and still living together because we got a 1-bedroom apartment, and I know that would be a very messy and toxic situation. Please help me.
Sorry, I just want to point out that the person in the relationship says she's strongly against it. And she's still asking us.
I think you should just break up with the guy and move to your friend's house.
She has already broken up with him, as far as I'm concerned.
Do you know that guy is messaging his friends every day? She's behaving somehow.
If anybody tells me that the person in relationship with me is not just against my relationship, strongly. You know when you do all those surveys, they say strongly agree. She is strongly against. What is happening?
Also, I don't know. I think
poor guy. That guy can definitely feel that she hates him.
100%. It's so amazing to me when people think
next to his enemy,
their partner doesn't know something is wrong. It is one of the funniest things when people just think, oh, I'm telling you,
that man wakes up like, this babe can't stand me. She hates my guts.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, she wants me dead.
Yeah.
Or maybe he's not even paying attention.
No, he knows.
In a
In a one
apartment.
bedroom, they are facing themselves.
No. Do you know what it is when you need to greet somebody and they say, girl, our person doesn't like you anymore. I think because
this
money
babe
is driving
calls
her.
him by his full government name. There's nothing concerning babe, anything. I'm telling you, she calls him his full name at this juncture.
No babe, no
zero,
nothing.
morning, that's all he gets. No, I'm so sorry. You must break up with him today.
Immediately.
I just don't even wait till you get home.
I think maybe because she's penny pinching, her entire focus
obviously because they live together, there's like dynamics. But I just think you need to come out and say, I'm actually strongly against this relationship.
Also, I like the fact that she has a plan. Like she's not using emotions really to deal with.
I get her questions, but I don't see how you can continue this situation.
Yeah, I think she should. I think so. 1 year leases, because the fact you said 1 year lease, you're not in Lagos.
Yeah,
and not that's cheaper. Than month to month, and because her focus is on accommodation next year. She doesn't want to do the slightly more expensive thing. You can get
somewhere for like you can 3 to 6 months. It's more expensive, but I just don't see how this is fair or beneficial
or healthy.
You, for him, I think it's a mess.
Yeah,
I think
a big mess. You definitely have to go.
I think you have to call it a day.
Yeah,
so sorry about it.
Even the fact that she's considering. Maybe we can break up and be in the same house.
Accommodation is tough. Accommodation is tough to find. So in that respect, I
get thinking about her financial future.
Yeah, she's just like, I don't want. If today she breaks up with him and he's like, all right, one of us has to leave this house now. That was going to happen. I'm not going to live. Two of us cannot live in this house anymore. Hopefully, maybe he will move out. That's what you hope.
I doubt it. You are still in love. You're the one that came to scatter my life. So you have a plan now.
You're the one that should get out.
But that must really suck, Sha. Like, you're there in love with somebody and they're plotting their escape.
Very tough.
I mean, but they didn't move in together out of like pure love. She moved in with him because she was planning to move to another city, so she didn't want to.
This baby is looking for accommodation primarily. That's
not a relationship.
What she's looking for is somebody who owns a shirtless company. She's not interested in
I'm not one guy that we both know actually, and he told me that the darkest time in his life was when he was a homosexual. I said, what the hell is that? He said, he was dating for accommodation.
Wow.
I said,
I promise you, her spec currently, do you have a guest bedroom? Anybody that has guest bedroom is her spec right now.
Wow.
But do you think that men and women approach love differently?
100%.
Because I think that what women want from a relationship ultimately like differs from what men want. I feel like women, they're looking for providers, protectors. You can love anybody that provides for you and protects you. But men are looking for, I guess, respect. Somebody that looks good on their arm.
I don't know. I just think I don't even think it's
the way some of the men operate. I don't know if you respect I don't know if you respect their after, because you yourself. Are you respecting of yourself? The way you're doing, is it good?
No.
So I don't know. I mean, people say that all the time, but I'm not sure. I think definitely different. I'm no longer sure.
What the
difference is.
I do think that it's very culturally motivated. And also more and more, I'm starting to understand the older I get that a lot of stuff is economically and situationally.
Yeah, that's the truth.
A lot of people's needs change over time. So, and what tends to happen is because of things like culture, body clock, people do what is expedient. And over time, when they are more comfortable,
it's like, is this
actually what I want? And that is men and women, particularly now that women have more options.
Yeah.
So we're more like, the whole protector provider thing. I would like to be more comfortable, but I can fundamentally provide for myself.
Yeah, and so it's not like, it depends on where you are in life, how important that is in your mix. But we have to just be realistic. Sometimes, see this babe now, she does not have where to live. So like, as much as we're saying, she's like, okay, can I move in with one of you or not?
Yeah.
So,
I think this is why it's important for women to be financially independent, so that your love-making decisions don't have to do with like your finances or who can feed you. But I think that ultimately, because I've never seen a successful Nigerian woman that does not want to be provided and protected.
For sure. I think it's just part of the...
Because I think that even when we have more choices and we're making more money, I think most women want to be in a situation where the man makes more than them or the man is providing in some sort of way.
Yeah.
As opposed to they're now the breadwinners. Yeah. Which sounds a little bit unfair, but if you think about it, I don't think the Nigerian male ego can deal with a woman earning more. So I feel like in those situations, like women also have to be, they want somebody who can provide and protect or earn more than them because it's also like a respect thing.
Yeah.
And even if you're not, even if the guy is not, complaining at first, I feel like over a period of time, they start to resent you.
Yeah, it's also just more, even the way society is set up. It's cultural, it's everything. And it takes a specific type of person to exist in that dynamic and like be completely okay. Yeah. I have literally seen people mocking their friends. As in because their wives are significantly richer than them. And it's banter.
Yeah.
But I can very easily see how this banter is going to continue. And you also see the other hand where I'm sure everybody knows situations where the wife is the breadwinner, but she's tiptoeing around everything, doing all these extra things to, make him feel
better.
And it's these weird dynamics that if it was the other way around wouldn't exist.
Yeah. I do think the difference, where I think about it differently, is that because women have those options, if you're a Nigerian woman, we always say that you have to be very clear-eyed about the situation you're in. So no matter what kind of ideals you have, you play the cards you're dealt. So even if you're a Nigerian woman who genuinely will say, I don't care if he earns more than me, the resentment will actually be both ways. Because if your partner is unwilling to do... So I think it used to be a fair exchange in that you make more money because I do more work.
Yeah.
But I can't make more money and do more work. And that is where the resentment actually comes from.
Funny enough, I think that there are women who, let's say they're okay with man not earning as much as them. They're fine with it. And they're also fine with taking on like the additional like labor of just generally being a woman. I think that even in that scenario where she really wants to respect the guy, she doesn't care about his income, they're happy. I feel like in a lot of those situations, the guy becomes resentful because of things like FK is saying. Their friends start mocking them. Their family members start saying things like, hey, she's controlling you.
Yeah.
It's no longer love. It's not that my husband loves me and he wants to look after me or wants to do nice things for me. It's now, it's because she has more money than you. Yeah. That's why she's controlling you. I'm putting ideas I think
for these kind of things to work, I just think there has to be a very specific type of dynamic where plus you, plus your family, like it all ties together.
Very deeply.
And I wouldn't gamble on it personally. It's just the truth of the matter.
Every year
I've become super practical about things and I'm like, personally, I'm not taking the chance.
It's just
I've seen it many times and I'm just like, look, it's even the best of them. It's just we're not set up for it.
Yeah, I have a friend who is very, very, she's a worry babe. She's very, very worried. So I remember one time I was talking about this thing. I said, unfortunately, see who we follow. Like you can't say, she was like, Jola, you can't say these things because you have to deal with because the type of man you're attracted to, where is he raised? What does he fundamentally believe in? What did he see growing up? Because you can say all these things, but in his house, his father was respected because you asked daddy for something and it appears, right? So you can say all these things, but he's going to want to emulate that deep down. And when he can't, his father, the same father he deeply respects, doesn't respect him because he can't do it.
Do you know what's so interesting? I was listening to this podcast interview with Nick Cannon, talking about his marriage to Mariah Carey. And he was saying how at first it was great. Like, I love her. She was one of the biggest superstars in the world. And I loved, being her husband and everything. But it got to a point where, especially when they have kids, it's like you're now on the sidelines. You're carrying diaper bag. You're carrying, you're basically being Mr. Mariah
Carey's husband at the end of the day.
And he's like, I'm a hustler. Like, is this who I want to be?
Yeah.
And I thought, even in an American sort of context
where things are like,
it's tricky talk less of Nigeria, where like, even if the man is okay with it when he doesn't have, when he has a little, because it's like, this comfort is great. Over time, I
honestly think it's tricky. And also, I think it's tricky both ways. So I was listening to something where they were, again, me, I love to listen to podcasts about the super rich because it doesn't concern me at all. It doesn't concern me in any way. Sometimes one lady was talking about how she just bought her second plane. I said, what a lovely time. Me, myself, I also ordered 2 wings, 2 portions of wings the other day. So fundamentally, I understand what you mean. And then they were asking her about dating, and they were asking, she was very successful, she sold her business. And there was another guy who also sold his business, and they're both not married. So they were asking 2 of them, early 30s, about dating. And both of them were like, in the same context, dating somebody who is like, because now they've passed, it's not normal, not everybody sells their business for millions. Because now they've passed, even somebody who works Goldman Sachs, like proper middle class income, the disparity is just so high that even for him dating a woman that is not, it's just somehow, there's so many things that are weird and somehow. So I'm like, even in super modern, I honestly think even now, the guys who, if the gap even between the guy and you is too much, is somehow. Plus you, plus the women, but obviously the dynamic for women is different. So I don't know. I just feel like more and more, I'm deeply practical about these things. I'm just like, okay, and you can also see it in a person. There's just things that you're like, I don't think this kind of person that will thrive in this situation, and you don't want to set yourself up for.
Because the Nigerian stereotype is that if the woman makes more, she carries shoulder, she's now proud. But I've literally seen the opposite, like in reality, where is that the woman is the one that's pretending, doing all the pretense and saying, he's doing everything.
To be honest, I've seen
it's
both.
Him that bought me the car.
The thing is, I think there needs to be, there's the Nigerian added context of people who have money in general having to like perform a certain type of humility. It's not about actually being humble. You already need to perform it.
Yeah.
So when it's a woman on top of that, it's worse because there's just a lot of hyper focus. So generally, if you notice, like people who are wealthy really have to perform humility,
especially women, even like women around the world. You hear, was it Davos? There was a video that was going around and they were asking this woman who's some big CEO. I think she's like Indian or I don't know, but she was some big CEO, and they were asking her, about like her commitment, her children and family, and she was just like, "I'm so sorry.
Why are you asking me?"
No, she said, "I'm so sorry. You cannot actually expect me on Monday afternoon to be at the bake sale at school. I want all of us to just be serious. Why are you asking me? You know that I don't go to PTA. So the question you've asked me now is for what? Yeah. Because you want her to do, I leave my office, I run, I bake cookies, and she's like, I don't. It's not really. The CEO of your company, they bake. They don't bake anything. So it was just, and I was like, why is this even part? Look at the conference with people like, why? So I just think there's a lot of performance of I'm so humble, I'm so this, that everybody has to do, especially if you're now women, a high-flying woman. It's really somehow, and just, I don't know.
Especially.
It's weird. I mean, I was watching the Simone Biles thing and everybody's calling her husband Mr. Biles.
And it's probably going to get to his head at some point.
So I was like, I said, bro,
he's probably going to start.
And I was like, well, this is the dynamic.
But what I will
She's
say,
the most famous gymnast in the world.
But what I will say is, so in Nikano's context, he chased. By the time he met Mariah's star didn't go up when they were together.
No, he was already there. She was Mariah Carey already by the time he went. Her. Is he saying that when he started talking to her, he didn't know she was Mariah Carey?
No, but I think what he was saying was very real. It was about after the initial excitement and when it becomes over time, like he evolves into something else, and then you're sitting up in bed thinking,
is this the life I want?
Is this who I want to be known as? Like Mr. Mariah Carey. It's a real thing.
He's known as Abraham.
That's like me. I like Steadman. That man does not say, and he does not say one word. And it's good because none of us know us. He's just like, oh, I don't want any of you to stress me. See me, I'm enjoying. You people now want to ask me how I feel. I don't feel anything.
I wonder what Steadman's village people would have been
I said, if Steadman is in the house, that man is, I've never seen that man not looking relaxed. He looks like somebody that does not have personal problem. He's just like, You said I'm concerned. I don't have any concern. I don't have any. Ask Oprah, please.
Yeah, but your culture will definitely
dictate. I promise you,
if he had Nigerian
they would clown
village
that
people,
man.
they would have already said, she's controlling you with juju.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, okay, I have another one. From Jola's biggest fan. Hi, Jules and FK. I want to use this medium to let you both know how amazing you are and I love the podcast. Thank you. I recently started content creation on educational topics and facts, majorly in history. Ever since I started, some people who I call friends have never liked, shared, or even for once talked about what I'm doing. I see them view my posts, but they never engage. One even said her boyfriend told her that, why didn't I look for a better age?
Hey.
Our friends not supposed to be supportive of each other. To be honest, they haven't followed my page on Instagram or subscribed to my YouTube channel. The question is, am I entitled? Are these people actually friends or am I overthinking? So my views have changed on this thing, especially to do with like, you have a page. Look, we all have to level with ourselves. Your friends might not be interested in what you're interested in. And we must call it a day on that. I'm sorry. Now, things like, they didn't subscribe or they didn't like follow the page. I think those are table stakes. It's not that deep. But to be sincere, you want me to be in the history? I don't. It's not. The Cold War, it's not my thing. But me, I would still, share the. It's not important. But if what you're looking for is like deep engagement, toughest of times.
Do you know how many of our friends have told us point blank?
They don't listen to this podcast and they will not.
They will never.
And do you know what's so funny? I think it's a complicated thing because on one hand, I feel like she needs new friends because if you've started something that is so low effort, like for your friends
I just feel like following
you can view, you can follow, you can like.
Honestly, it's fine.
You don't have to be that interested.
You don't have to watch the thing.
Oh my God, how is it
amazing!
Love it because I'm doing it. Like when I started all this financial literacy stuff, one of my best friends, Nadine, she's a dentist. She has no idea about finance or anything like that. She's not interested in it, but I would call her when I'm writing articles. Nadine, what do you think? How does this sound? They suffered when I was writing the book. Does this conversation sound realistic? They don't care about the topics or whatever, but they care
about you.
This is something that I'm invested in and I'm trying to create, so they want to be supportive. Whether they understand it or they don't understand it. If you don't have friends that can support your humble beginnings, I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, that's problematic.
I honestly think they're low effort things that your friends can do, but I just also want you to realize that, like, when you... So now, honestly, I don't even mind, like, half of my friends... Is it half? It's more than half. I don't... In fact, these podcasts, they don't even know
what's going on.
Not only do they not know what's happening here, they actively don't care. They're just like, I see you. You even talk too much. So just imagine. One of my friends called me the other day that just imagine his babe was listening to the podcast and he said, please.
I can't.
I talked to this girl yesterday. She was on the phone for almost 1 hour. Now you're playing. He said, please, if you don't mind, be doing this thing in your house. So she now messaged me that, look at this stupid boy. He said, he took the phone and said, I told her to be playing this thing in your house. You are disturbing me on my phone. Then you are disturbing me on Spotify again. He said, please, I know you in person. There's actually no reason. He said, all the things you are saying, you said it.
Because there are different ways to support your friends.
Yeah.
So there are friends that are not going to support you by listening to the actual conversation. But there are friends that will say, I know this person that can sponsor the podcast.
Yeah.
Or the people who are promoting. I have friends that don't know what the book is about. But you see, everywhere they go to,
they'll post it.
My friend Arisa, Maria was on a plane now with a Kenyan lady that she has never met before. And she was like, my friend Arisa, she just she's launching her series on YouTube, subscribe to this page and all of that. And she sent me a screenshot of like her doing that on the plane to a stranger. My friend works in oil and gas. I'm very sure she doesn't really care that much about, YouTube and all of those things, but it's a way of showing support. But I also think we need to get to a point where the thing is bigger than your friendship. Like is other people that you want to be, your evangelists, it's grown bigger.
Yeah, I think you want to find your actual fans. And don't get me wrong, for in this case, I'm like, okay, not even subscribing at all is kind. Again, it literally costs nothing. I follow everybody's page that is doing whatever. I don't have any interest in it. But like, you opened a page, cool. What is the big deal in following it, liking the random post? I didn't watch your video, but I liked it.
Yeah, love it as a matter
fire
of fact.
emojis. Well, if you ask me what was I don't know. But I said, well done.
Yes.
Phenomenal stuff.
I'm proud that you're my friend.
I'm just like,
you're doing this. Clap for yourself.
You know, if I
busy.
see you reposting something you're doing at an event, I repost it.
Yeah.
Am I going? No. You know, so that's
They're just
all.
different ways.
So I just feel like there's very low effort things that your friends are not doing. But if you are talking about like you want them to be super engaged, it's a high bar because everyone is just different. Now, as for your friend's boyfriend, what's business? Also, please, can people, what is it? Why can't your boyfriend tell you something stupid? Then you won't say it. What happened to that?
Yeah.
Why did it come out that he said that now all of us don't like him?
I have a very troublesome auntie that was talking about somebody else. And she said, and you know, if she did not say anything, we'll not know the husband is a fool.
I'm telling you. Because if she didn't say anything, this boyfriend now, we won't know.
Or maybe she's using styles to tell you how she feels.
I think, let me know that I think she's
using styles to tell you how she feels. I'm using the boyfriend as the excuse.
I think she's saying that, this is true. Say, are you so sure? I've listened to one of your videos. You are saying rubbish.
But you know that it's important for you to also use those things to fuel you. Like, especially if you have conviction in the thing that you're doing. Like, you telling me that I can't do it becomes my negative motivation.
But like, what if... this is a complete sidebar. What if your friend's stuff is bad? I'm fortunate that I've not actually been in a situation where, apart from when we're young and people were doing music, that was a tough time for all of us, I believe, when SoundCloud was very active.
Now we should make it our BBS status.
Sorry. I said, my brother, this year, Aisha, you won't face mechanical engineering that they sent you to school for. This mixtape, it can't work. So there was a time that people were trying their musical abilities, and that was just a tough time in general. But like, beyond that, I don't know that any of my friends have actually gone headfirst into something and it's bad. So it's just that I'm not interested, but I've never had to say,
Alpha, this
I think you need to, this stuff is not good. So I don't know. I think you're not being entitled. I think it's fair enough to want them to do even just the basic things. And maybe you should have a conversation about it. If they then don't answer you, well, you then have to regauge the matter. But I think if you're doing content in general,
it's not that
you're
hard.
gonna have to find a wider audience at the end of the day. Like it's never, even if your friends are the ones that start, if it's not their thing, it's never going to be
their thing.
It's never going to be their thing. So it's tough, but you know, they're not the ones that are going to hold your, like, you know, make your page or whatever. Your history stuff.
But your friends should be your cheerleaders.
They should, Sha.
They should be your cheerleaders. I don't care if
at least they should follow the... I'm just like, come on.
I'd be very
chill off on not following the... like, not subscribing.
It's mean.
That's free. That's free support. It doesn't cost you anything.
Hello, boys and girls.
Hello.
So we know how, the cost of living is at the moment. We are all looking for money that can come in. So if you want to, make a little bit of money, you don't want to stress yourself, you can put your money into Bamboo's fixed returns.
Yep.
Where you can earn up to 8% per year in USD.
Yeah.
That is United States dollars.
You also don't have to be anxious about putting your money down for an extremely long time. You can put it for 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, or a year, which is 12 months.
Yeah.
So like we said, up to 8% a year, you can save that money in Naira or dollars.
Yes, you can.
And if you're interested in what we're saying, you can click this link to get started.
Get into it. You guys will recall that my team won the challenge. So I'm so sure some of you have already jumped on this, but people on Jolas to me are just learning about it. There's no problem.
All right, guys. Back to the episode.
Bye.
I have a very interesting one called Jola's Pink Slipper She wore in Ghana. You guys with these names. My name may be a joke.
I just want to say that I saw one that says FK63K nails and I'll not read it.
The person says, my name may be a joke, but my story is anything but funny. By the way, greetings to you all, including guests, production crew, etc. I've been married for 8 years and we have one baby boy. My husband has always been very generous and buys gifts, sponsors trips for us multiple times a year. He's also very affectionate, only when he wants sex. She put that in capital letters. If we're not having sex, either because I'm tired or my period or he's tired, he barely speaks to me. He retreats to a different part of the house to talk to his boys or family or watch football. We have help with our son, so it's not like I'm extra busy. I've complained several times and he says he'll work on it, but things haven't changed. I'm getting really tired, feeling unloved and lonely, and men outside are starting to look really fine these days.
Wow.
Please help me before I go and open my legs outside my marital home. Okay, that's a joke before you guys insult me. But seriously, it's really not easy cosplaying as a sex toy when you're so much more. That's the end of the dilemma.
8 years of this.
What's she asking for? Affection outside of the bedroom.
She shows when sex is not on the table, he's just not interested in her as a person.
Yeah, he's literally going to another room to talk to his friends.
Like he doesn't engage because he sees there's no reward for this.
Like this gisting that we're doing.
You know, like when you're small, when you want to ask your mom for something, you'll be talking to her from
morning to like,
hey, my friend's party is on Saturday.
This car comes to lie down on my bed. I'm like, what do you want?
Yeah, exactly.
Let's get straight to the point, please.
I don't know. I mean, every time married people ask me if I came for advice, I'm always like, guys.
I'm always like, I want to draw from the strength of my experience.
Of nothing.
Of 0 years of of 0 years of marriage and half of relationship. What are we talking about here? But to be honest, it seems a bit crazy that your husband is not interested in even being friends with you at all. Even just for the fact that you're there. It's like, okay, let me quickly talk to you. No. It's very somehow. And I personally don't know how you've done 8 years of this.
But do you think there's a little bit of exaggeration there?
Do you know, I doubt it.
I doubt.
I actually doubt it. This is probably the first time. This is probably the first time she's being honest about how bad it is.
She doesn't know us.
She doesn't know us, and we don't. There's no way for us to like identify who this is.
Well,
so
it's a pattern. So it's like it's taking her a while. You know when something is off and you're like, maybe I'm being funny, and then you take time. You're like,
this thing is weird.
I don't
know.
That sounds very.
I don't know. She didn't mention if she has brought it up or not.
She has multiple times.
Yeah, I don't. You know. So I don't know if this is the case, but there's a thing that happens when people might get married or be in a relationship and overall, agape love, they love each other, but they don't actually like each other very much. And so you get into a weird dynamic where your relationship works, so in theory, like on paper, everything is fine, you know, and sure, you love each other overall, you're family, but do you actually like each other? Do you want to spend time? Do you guys want to hang out? You know when you see couples and you're like, Okay, so two of you are together still till now. As you are present now, you are in a loving relationship. Wow. And these are your fellow couples, your mates. And look at them and look at yourselves and you are happy about it. So a lot of times I'm just like, wow, so nice. Like literally the other day, my brother goes, oh, these two people are engaged. And they were like people that 2 days before, we went somewhere and they were there. And I said, sorry, these two people are in a relationship. I said, Azal now. We were there for like 6 hours.
Why were they acting like strangers?
No. They were with all of us. There was no way you would have known.
That they were together.
There was, I said, one strand of one single spark like this, 0 sparks. And the funny thing is there was another couple there who we had to actually beg them
to please
that if you look at a chair here now, why are you sitting on top of him now? You sit here. Let's all hear what.
Oh my
when
God,
a group of 6 people, 2 of you are sitting on top of each other. It's not right.
I can't even say anything because when I like somebody, I literally want to be inside their skin. Like,
yeah, but I can't be saying that in public. I'm a hard babe. I beg. Let people know I'm mistake. All these things, the lie. I don't want to sit next to you. So those, and literally, I kept saying to him, "Are you sure?" He said, "I just told you that somebody proposed. You're asking me if they're together." I said, "But is it like a friendly engagement? But let's get married as friends." Because I say, if even brotherly love, they did not have it. I'm telling you.
But again, I think that we have to be realistic about something. Marriage is a partnership.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily about, it will be nice for it to be about love and friendship.
Yeah.
But ultimately, I think long term, the partnership part is more important than like all of it.
But this person, she's not happy. This is a weird dynamic. I can't like, if like you're fine with it and you're like, you self, I don't want to see you, then that's cool. And some people are like that. They're like, I don't really, all this like affection, I'm not really into it. We're married, go, you face your side, don't disturb me. But she seems like she really wants to connect with him, which creates a very sad dynamic. And if she has spoken to him and he's not answering, I don't know, it's been 8 years. I'm going to go ahead and say it's not going to change. And so she has to decide if she's going to accept it or not. Like, I don't even think this kind of person that is going to marriage counseling, to be honest. I think he's just like, okay, for what? Everything is fine. He's like, for me, this is a perfect situation. I don't talk to you. When I have sex, we have sex. Finish.
But you know that is interesting because you know how with communication, you now find out that maybe what he thinks he's bringing to the table,
like his provision and all that, is everything.
Is everything.
Also, is this
he views it differently?
Or has it been the whole time?
Because it will be very annoying for anybody. Not that what he's doing is right or healthy, but if at the onset of our relationship and 8 years in, this has been our modus operandi, and then you start talking about we need to talk more, he might genuinely be like, I don't understand what this babe is on about. Like we've had a great thing going for probably more than a decade now. So like,
or maybe instead of like trying to get him interested in the things that you're interested in, starting to figure out what are the things that we can do together that we both, like.
So that it's easier. She said he talks to his family, he talks to his friends.
I just feel
but he just doesn't engage. But maybe it's just a really hard, because I actually genuinely don't have a solution. I don't know any tip or trick to get someone to want to talk to you. And we've said this thing before here many times and when we said it, some people there are many people that can deal with people in long-term relationships that don't necessarily like them. Like they won't say, oh, like I really like the babe. Like, yeah, she's mad. Like, we have a great time together. But they don't, no, it's true. They don't actually like her. Like, I know someone that his babe had an issue because she was like, I see you talking to your friends.
Yeah.
I've never seen you laugh like this before. When it's the two of us, I didn't know you had it in you to be so jovial. Like, this is not...
That thing is actually scary because, you see some people like when they're with their partners and then you see them when they're not with their partners and it's like nights and days. Yeah. Like, who are you right now?
Yeah, it's I don't know.
It's very scary.
It's sad. Fakem, do you have one more?
I do. I'm trying to decide between a person that says they don't like any of their friends and somebody called FK's baby that started with, hello ladies, I'm in serious soup.
Starts down. Do that one.
Okay. FK's baby says, hello ladies, I'm in serious soup. I recently got into it with my babe. She told me about some guy that I'm trying to get with her for some time now. We talked about it and we decided she would never speak to him again. For context, this guy goes to her church, so he knows basically everyone in her family, and her mom really likes him. We had a disagreement and didn't speak for some days. During this time, she spoke to her mom about the things going on, and this stupid boy was one of them. Her mom said she liked him and wanted her to keep talking to him best friends. Basically, nothing too serious. This guy legit started speaking to him again without telling me anything about it. She eventually told me because she was feeling guilty. I felt some sort of way about the whole thing and didn't speak to her. I felt some sort of way about the whole thing and didn't speak to her for some days. When I eventually did, because she just kept calling and texting, we had a long talk. For some reason, she thought it would be cool to insert my sisters into the conversation. I shunned her and warned her never to compare herself to them.
Okay.
Especially not in situations like this because they'll never do such, at least not to somebody they claim to love. Weeks later, Babes is telling me how she felt about the whole thing. I've apologized about everything. I genuinely feel sorry for speaking to her in that manner. I'm just sorry about how I said it, not what I said. And she's saying that she has come to understand that my sisters come first, not her, and that she will never forget that. Saying things about how I broke her kini. This is stupid. I love her, but I feel like she's taking this a bit too far because she too has said things that were extremely mean and heartbreaking, but I didn't take it to heart because women say things, especially when they're pissed. Was I wrong for correcting her? I just didn't want her disrespecting my siblings like that.
How did she disrespect you?
They are two fools. These are two big fools, actually. It's like you people don't have what you are.
So childish.
You two of you don't have what you are doing. That's actually what is doing you is a lack of things to do.
what's doing him is that her mommy doesn't like him, man. Her mommy wants her to date that other boy.
I want to let you know that your problem is that church brother.
Yeah.
Why will he tell you to stop talking? My friend, you two.
But why is she telling him? Why is she telling him?
I'm so sorry. People have lost the art of keeping secrets. Why are you saying that your mom said you should go and talk to this boy? What is killing me is you two.
That one's
you won't talk to him. I know what it is. She's talking to the boy, but she has to blame somebody.
Yes.
All of a sudden now, this grown-ass babe that said that he's disturbing her, that his sister is more important. Her mommy told her to do something.
But you know that I wonder when people learn that thing. You telling a guy, a babe, don't talk to that guy.
It's not gonna work.
You telling the guy, don't talk to that babe. That's exactly what.
You
can't control.
I have never.
You can't control that.
My own is, if the person you're with doesn't know that they should not talk to somebody moving to them, you should probably take that on board.
Yeah.
That is feedback for you and very important feedback. Because if I tell you this person likes me, and then I insist on talking to them, what is my aim? What's the point? Like, honestly, of all the friends in the world, this is the only friend I must have. A friend that is actively moving to me.
But I just feel like as a woman, you can't just be cutting off everybody that likes you.
Look,
it's okay to be friendly.
Men say this thing all the time that women always have badge B somewhere in the back, and I believe it wholeheartedly.
Because before you date the person for 10 years and then they come and tell you
in the wings, because disgrace is so rampant. Yeah. Disgrace is so sure.
What did they say? I saw something that said dating men in 2024 is a humiliation ritual.
It is, and personally, my problem with this situation is you're talking to him outside to the point where your mommy can see your boyfriend, everybody. You don't have any sense.
It's not that she talks too much.
She does.
She talks
way too much.
It's not that if someone is paying you attention and you're answering them, it's actually foolish to be giving your boyfriend that information. What are you telling him?
What is to be gained from the conversation? I'm just like,
now
listen, you know what you want to do, but you don't want to. You want to do it in a godly way.
No, he's a church member.
She wants to talk to him in a godly manner. That's why she's relieving herself of guilt by being like, I Kuku told you that we're friends, but he kind of likes me, Sha. Now you on your own high, and it seems like this boy has a very high horse because, don't talk to him. Don't ever compare yourself to my sister. Who the hell are they?
They don't know. He doesn't know how to fight that.
Well, if I was, who the hell are your sister? Who are they? What sort of rubbish is that? Which one is don't compare yourself to my sister? Are we all smoking crack here? I'm telling you something. You say I should not compare.
Better take it on board.
She better take it on board very quickly because I don't understand. Also, which one is your sister's come before me? As now.
I said that is that guy. And she's talking to him, more things are irritating her about her boyfriend. I'm sure that boy doesn't have sisters. That church boy. He doesn't have any sisters that she can be comparing herself to.
I just feel like I would burst out laughing in a conversation if someone said, don't ever compare yourself to your sister. Who the hell? All of you, who the hell are? All of you together, who the hell are you?
No, I think this is just a very weird.
It reminds me of the cool family of Lagos Island. All of you are crazy.
They got married.
Are you serious?
Yes.
Wow. And they didn't release any official letter. I love a family with letterhead. It sounds like this boy belongs to such a place.
He's going to insult me, but do you know that too? I find it so funny that my dad has letterhead in paper.
Wow.
I said, Kola, who are you talking? It makes me laugh so much. And you know my dad, she knows my dad, he's so extra. His own is now blue. I said, you don't even want white paper. Your own is now blue with your full name. No. You know, he's like interesting.
I can't lie. It's giving that the two of you are actually not serious. But I think, you understand why she's upset. Yeah. You are saying rubbish. So, and I understand why you two are upset. How she's talking to, and I'm very sure till today she's still talking to that boy. Just by the way, I just want to let you know that. And that boy are bosom friends. And that guy is just looking at you, waiting in
the wings.
He's waiting for the relationship to scatter. So as she's even telling him his sister, no, he doesn't prioritize you.
In an immature sense, you can't let me know I have that kind of power over you.
You can't.
That I'll talk to somebody and you're losing your mind.
You can't. You actually can't.
Come off it.
You actually can't. You have to tell me no problem now.
What you have done is
tell me you go ahead. That's what you have to say.
How can I know that just me talking to somebody is
making
running you mad?
No.
Of course, when we're fighting, You call me 4 times. Where were you? Well, of course, I was talking to you. What do you mean by that? That's so silly. Of course.
It's very, very silly. You have to honestly say, oh, cool, no problem. Now let him try. So, see, you have to be believing yourself. My conclusion is that 2 of you are not serious. I want to be honest with you. What I've seen from this matter, 2 of you don't have that much going on.
Also, you need to buy her mommy fabric.
Yeah, I think you're focusing on
the wrong things. Yeah.
Because you are in this sister drama, and what sounds you know is her mom is planning with that man's mother. that boy's mother in church. Him and her mom are planning.
Saying, why does she?
Guess who they're going to invite to Sunday lunch? That you are not part.
She's not in the church. She doesn't go to their church.
Imagine me telling my boyfriend, I fight over. I say, no, you talk to me. See, that woman hates your girl.
She doesn't like it.
And I think you're focused. You should be focusing on mommy. Your sisters are a distraction. Complete and utter distraction, your sisters. Yeah, again, them they'll go and marry you. I say she should not compare herself to them. So for me, your focus is actually out of place totally. And you're not seeing the bigger picture. It's when they marry that you write again. see what happened.
They are indeed engaged.
Do you get? So I just feel like things like your mom not like preferring somebody else over your partner. And you know, a lot of our parents, they are very much on that. You're not married.
100%.
Oh, my mom says all the time.
And they have every right to be like that.
I get it, it's like relationships, but sometimes this boyfriend thing you guys are doing, it's a bit...
Yeah.
She was like, look, people will propose, you'll choose one. I said, people like who now? Who are the many people? One of my friends' mom always says, look, when we're younger, people will come to the house. They will tell her father they want to marry his daughter, like 3 of them. And she will look at them. Then she will date this one. She was talking to this one. And then one of them came out, came for say, okay, she likes this one. They married. All this boyfriend. She said, what is it? Are you, that the 2 of you that all of a sudden, because you have a boyfriend, you can't even talk to anybody? And I'm just like, what are we talking about?
My mom says it all the time my dad actually, that him and his friends and my mommy at the same time.
Yeah.
At the same time. And they look at each other. And my dad say, it's first to get there.
They're always just like the way you guys are treating this thing. It's actually a bit crazy because you'll be seeing somebody, boyfriend of 6 months, all of a sudden, and mommy is like,
please be specific. It's the way women treat these things. Men treat it very differently.
She's like, what are the 2 of you doing that you're talking about? I think it was someone that was, one of my cousins talking about cheating or something. She said, cheating on who? I said, relationship of how many months? What are you talking about? That the 2 of you together. What are you talking about? She honestly was like, so this is the situation. So all of you have been sitting there discussing this particular. None of you have anything you are doing. And I was like, what? Because we're really, how she came down, we're not telling her this, what happened. And she was so disgusted. She said, so all of you grown women, you sat down around the table, they're discussing a relationship of 5 months. They cheated on her. She's upset, she's crying. Which relationship is that?
Yeah, my dad asked me the same question regularly. Like, my dad would come and ask me, are you engaged? I'm like, Daddy, what does that? No, he doesn't. They don't understand all these dates. Like, my dad just say, are you engaged? And I'm like, Daddy, he says yes. Because marriage is what we recognize here. You just come and say, so if I look too nice when I'm going out, my dad would just say, are you engaged?
Wow. I'm not actually joking. I promise my mom has said it so clearly that, see, whilst I'm sure everybody dating is lovely, I don't want to meet any of them. If you are getting married, bring the person for me. All this, she said, because who has time? Oh, today I'm dating Kune. Oh, today Femi. Oh, Sanho, please. She said, look, I don't care for them. Anybody that she sees, I saw that your friend the other day. I was like, good and well. That's my ex. And she's like, okay. If you say so. Are you married now? No, nobody's married. So which ex? She's just like, okay, so I remember the other day she was trying to introduce me to someone. And I said, my friend dated him. She said, you've come again. Are they married? I said, no, but that's my friend's ex. She said, okay, but are they married?
My mom's own is that.
I said, no. She now said, so. That's honestly, she's just like, so they were close. That's all of a sudden. sudden, my friend doesn't want me to be close.
No.
She said, okay, so all of us will cancel the whole of Lagos.
But that thing is so tricky as you get older, that's why the person knows to tell
I promise you, my mom is literally always. Then another time,
don't tell me the name. I don't want to know the name.
No. She's also just like, she'll ask me, what about? I posted one of my friends on his birthday. She now replied the birthday post and said, so, because I said that, I'm selling him to the highest bidder. Ladies should bid within. She now said, okay, what about him for you? And I said, oh, no. Like, we're close. She said, you have one brother. You are not related to this boy. Why can't you marry him? Which one is you are so close? Where do you know him from? She said, where didn't you just meet him? Where do you know him from?
It is so fun, particularly as we get older.
She's just like, you did not grow up with this boy. What are you what are you talking about?
I have 2 older guy friends who randomly just decided that they think there's somebody I should date. I said, he's my friend. He said, no, you've not kissed him before. That's
Wow.
I said, when she replied me, I was just like, what are you talking about?
They told them, they are dead serious. And one of them said, do you know what you do? You're a very beautiful lady. So the next time you got to...
Wow.
I said, I beg your absolute pardon. I understand you guys are worried about my prospects, but I swear to you, things are not this bad.
Things are not that bad. Every time I'm like, I'm going for lunch with and I mention one of my friends. And she's just like, okay, so 2 of you're just hanging out all the time. I say, yeah, we're friends. Is he married? No. So she's like, are you married? No. So what's
the problem?
The issue? I said, no. He's like, we're close. And she, close of what?
No, they hate
she said, how close?
So
she's just like, how close are you? How good a friend is he? What are the two? She's just like, what are you? She's like, okay, what is in the friendship that 2 of you are doing? There's nothing. And I'm just like, okay.
They are so funny.
They're so funny.
Because
she honestly just looks at me like, you are just playing with your life.
You cannot be serious.
You don't even. She's like, look at all these people that are just around. And you don't do them. Say, you've known each other for 20 years.
But
okay,
either you
why
have
do you want to marry a
chemistry or you don't have chemistry.
Sorry. No, they don't believe in all those things. Why would say marriage is about friendship?
They actually don't believe in all those things. She's just like, okay, but you've known him. We are literally family friends. Like, what? She's always like, why do you want to marry a stranger? Somebody you don't know from anywhere. I know the parents. I know everybody. You don't want to marry him. You say, yeah, so close. Then you bring a stranger, we don't know them. And I'm like, to be fair.
She's right.
She's like, you now bring a random person from nowhere. Then we'll now start getting to know them to discover that they are not okay.
Yeah. Does family matter though?
It does. I think we kid ourselves that like, I'm not doing me and you against the world with anybody. The world is actually very active.
And marriage is already hard enough. You don't want to add family dynamic issues.
Bro, situationship is tough.
Yes.
Marriage, people are doing talking stage for 2 weeks in a tough time.
And you're marrying the family, whether you like it or not. Like, I feel like when you choose a partner, you're choosing their lifestyle. You're choosing everything that they come with.
That's why I'm like, very quickly, please inform me of all the spiritual problems you people have in your side. Because I don't want to get to a stage where I like you. That's when I now discover that your father is a wizard. No. Ahead of time, tell me that, see, my family, they are very wicked. So that we'll know how we'll gauge if I want to get into that. Not later. We're already in love, we want to marry. I'll now discover that everybody of family is a witch. No.
Yeah, or that they don't like particular types of people.
Yeah.
Or like I know someone that had told she's not his wife, but very early on he told her like, my mom is a difficult person.
Yeah.
Like he told her very early on, he was like, she's not like wicked, but she's just a difficult person. She enjoys being picky and being nitpicky, and she's a difficult person. And she said that really helped their relationship because she realized that a lot of stuff wasn't personal, and then she learned how to manage. She just came up with a plan to match. She told her mommy to that one said, don't worry. So is your grandmother. We'll be there. We'll be there like man.
I'm like, if you have a tough family, don't worry, us two are there.
I mean, I'm not interested though.
Okay,
you know we have the discussion all the time. Me?
Someone was saying,
first sign of Chris, I just carry all my things.
Saying, I love family. They come from a very dramatic family. I just started laughing. He said what? I said, oh my dear, your family has yet to meet their mates. Let them try it. I know my people, bar for bar. Until everybody calms down. Bar for bar, as you people start, we'll finish. I said, look look, I know for sure. You know, people always joke about, their families will not argue over silly things. I said they will argue. Me, I know. Look, if I decide that I'm getting married and I said, I will tell the person, I want to assure you of something. My family, they're going to fight over things that you think don't matter. They will surely fight. The band, I said, even if that's the one they want, they will surely... I said, I want to assure all of us, something will come up. So if we're all on the same page about the fight that's going to happen, then everybody can move on swiftly. Mm-hmm. But this one that you think, I said, no, you have seen my character. All of us are like this. But what about friends before we segue out? Do you think it matters? Like if
my friends are fools.
Yes, but if the person that you meet is like friends with bigger fools, I think that's tough.
Oh, yes.
That's tough.
Your friends can be more foolish.
We can't actually all be. Let's be real. The truth is, we can't all be clowns in this scenario. I think genuinely, like, what if you don't actually like their friends?
That's a tough one.
Like, I find, not like, there is like a deep irritation of certain kinds of people that are just like...
How close are they? No, I'm being serious. Why are you laughing now? You know, there's some friends that you hear their name every day.
Yeah.
And then there are some that you hear their name around special occasions.
But I think relationships end up, like love relationships end up trumping like friendships. So for example, I was having this conversation with someone a few years ago, and it was about having an issue with someone's husband. And I was like, maybe you don't want to go there. Because you will lose every single time.
See, like, having an issue with someone's husband, the fact that you are even to the point of saying this, you've already started losing.
Yeah. Like, I think it's important for you to respect boundaries and understand, like, the totality of the situation. Your friend is not going to leave her husband to make you feel better. So just find ways to manage it.
Apart from that, I think this I know from personal experience, I think the people who struggle with boundaries the most are childhood friends.
Yeah, because you've been there for so long.
You imagined a specific type of relationship with your friends' partners. So you can't reconcile. And I think that is where that lack of respect comes from. And you don't realize you're being disrespectful. Because this is your person, this is your friend, but you're actually being disrespectful. And it's very, very hard to accept that actually I used to be priority. So this disrespect was disallowed, because all those people were actually, when they were dating other people, genuinely, those people couldn't compete with me. I'm the mainstay here. Once they get married, all this, in fact, once they're engaged, all this your rubbish of what I say, she takes it to heart. Girl, it's all over. You've lost.
And the thing is, also, there's different dynamics. There's some friends where you'll be close to their partner because, like, as a unit, they are bonding with you. There are other friends that you are still close to them, but for whatever reason, the dynamic with their partner, they don't want to be friends with you. They don't want to be friends with you.
It's not by force.
It's just, there's some of my friends' partners, I'm just like, good evening, sir. Hope you are well. Trust your day is going fine. And there are others that I'm like, hey, you, what are we? And that's just, you just have to take it like that.
I'm so lucky. I'm such good friends with all my best friends' husbands. Like, we have our own individual relationships. In fact, some Saturday mornings are very fun, because it's like we're on a 3-way call. Me, my best friend, her husband, and we're just talking about what happened last night.
That's so nice.
Like, and I also think like the trust circle as well. Again, me, I don't believe if I tell Nena something, she does not tell Ugo. So I have to trust that Ugo is a trustworthy person, so I can trust him with my secrets, as well.
Yeah.
So
I think it's just hard. I think women in particular, particularly if it's a childhood friend or someone you've known for like 10, 20 years, you are really amazed that, okay, so true, you've chosen this man that
like this married your best friend, you really mean it. You really mean it. All of a sudden now. And it's just little things. You can't just rock up into their house.
Yes. When you are not friendly with the husband, it's hard.
It's actually hard. No, if you're friendly, if you and your husband are guys, I'll show up at your house and he'll be like, so we have started again.
Yes.
Thank you for coming. Look, please get out of my house. That kind of, like, some of my friends' husbands are just like, you guys are actually making noise. I want to be honest. And we're like, I don't get. Yeah, you guessed here. Bro, we allowed you to. We're telling my friend's husband that the thing about it is, he said he wants to watch football. We should change the channel. I said, bros,
in our house.
Wow, actually, it's you are pleasant. and we're okay for you to be here. If I were you, I would go and stream in the office. Because you saw 3 of us here, you said we should change the channel. You want to watch it on the big TV. You being in this house. And the funny thing is, as he went to the office, my friend said, 1 second. She quickly went to beg him, that's so sorry. Don't mind them. He said, I beg a lot of you should get out. But I was like, why did you go and beg him? She said, sure you will go home. She said, some of you will go home. And then he'll be like, okay, no problem now. Sure you live with them. So I just feel, but there's some people that I can never, if that man says he changed the channel, I've picked my bag.
Once he comes downstairs,
gone. I said,
I've just start rounding up.
I've picked my bag, so I'll see you. I'll see you later. Daddy, thank God, for your life. I don't go house. I beg. What do you mean? I said all of us cannot sit down in that parlor. He said he wants to watch football. Please, let's start going. Arisa, no, I said we finished this thing. Let's go. You will phone me another day because I don't know what two of you are doing here. I don't like problems. So I just, and honestly, you just kind of have to get over it. Like life is not always going to play out where everybody's one big happy family. For me, it's very important that whoever I'm with can hang with my friends. But like for some people, it's just not the dynamic. And so, some
people don't even want it. Some people are very, I want
my
friends
honestly,
to be my friends.
Please do not talk to that man. Like, I don't even know why you even want to interact with him. Like, I don't even want to bring him.
It's fair enough. My parents have lots of like friends. So they're both their friends. And one thing that makes me laugh, my mom is like, I can't complain to her because she said, because he's her friend too. Yeah. So she's now, don't see his side. Yeah. You're on my side. Is my own side. So I think it's nice, but now I've stopped being so childish. I used to get really upset. I used to want to feel, it's a childish thing. I actually wanted to feel that important. And it was
I even wanted to feel so important that like, you're almost looking for my permission to approve. Not permission, but you know what it is? Or I want to introduce someone. I want to feel so important that I'm like, if you sense my disdain, you leave them. Because you're like, surely, if she doesn't like you, it can't work. I say even the ones that it's not even the disdain you're sensing. I've said it. This boy is a fool. They still go ahead. So now I've stopped thinking any such. My opinion is once I see that my friend likes somebody, that's the end. I think that what is important is that the person treats my friend in a way that, they're a princess. I say when the ones that treat them like as long as they're happy, I'm happy. The ones that treating my friends like they are comedians. Wow. I have seen them. Still, I don't. Okay. Because when they're doing love and you're not there, it's you that they will use to settle their quarrel.
I think I want to say something to my friend. He said, you're not tired of people using you as pillow talk, Abby. He's not. He said sometimes in the night, you say, my head is paining me. They're abusing you. You won't know. That friend and her boyfriend are insulting you. Mind your business. And lonely hag. And that's why.
You don't really know it's because she's single. I say, now what?
God. But speaking of friendship, Small Money Woman is around friends. Like that's the core of it. They have their own lives, but they are friends. I would know. I was in season 1. But
I actually watched. That was probably the only show I've ever watched like week to week on DSTV.
Was it because you really liked it, or was it because Jola?
So the thing is, I committed to watching the first episode because of Jola.
She came to my house to watch it.
After that, let me not lie. I didn't have any such plan. But it was sweet. Like I recorded the episodes. Yeah. That year when I was paying for PVR.
So this season, I mean, where did we end up last season?
So basically, it was Zuri just getting over like her broke problems. And I think this season, there's a lot more character development for each character. Because I think that when I was writing the first book, obviously I'd never written a book before. Like it was focused primarily on Zuri, and every other character was just kind of like skimmed over. But with the second book, I was like, I want to be a better writer. So I want to develop these characters like a bit more. And you see that in this season where Tammy, Lara, Adeswa, they're going through their own obstacles. But the most powerful thing is like the power of female friendships and how they're able to sort of like support each other through the different things that they're going through. And I think that any woman that has set a goal or has a vision for her life or has gone through like hard things and has had, the privilege of having being surrounded by good friends will really like relate to this.
Yeah.
And even if they haven't, I hope that this is a friendship that other people want to sort of like emulate. Because it's so, even if I rate it, I feel like it's so beautiful. And it's something we don't talk about enough.
Yeah.
Like we're always talking about how women are bringing each other down.
And fighting.
And all of that stuff. But we're not talking enough about how we collaborate to compete. How we're leveraging on each other's strengths and, helping to plug like each other's weaknesses. And I think, we see that a lot like this season.
Yeah. So at the end of last season, the most irritating man,
Soji.
God. So there's a couple, Arisa and Soji, and they have sort of like, I'll call it they have a Twitter marriage.
Yeah.
In essence. When people are trying to say, this is why you should not. But one of the things that I really enjoyed, and it took a while to get it right, was there is a to God be the glory-esque attitude towards difficult situations. So everybody, we don't want to like grapple with the nitty-gritty of what that is like or what that feels like. And when you have friends in real life, we all talk in hypotheticals till you're faced with
the situation.
That situation, when you see it either from like personal or secondhand experience, where your friend is with someone who, for all intents and purposes, you don't understand
why.
Yeah. Right? But the person has made that decision and you have to figure out how to help them or support them.
In that situation.
Which is something that in season 1 I kind of enjoyed because the characters are all very different. So their attitude to figuring out how to be supportive to Adesua is also very, very different. So they are the ones who are like, do you know what? This man is part and parcel of her life.
Let me just take it like that.
So I have to help her, whether it's with babysitting or listening. And then they are the ones who are just actively encouraging. They remind her every single time, no, you don't have to take this.
Yeah.
No, you don't have to be there here. No, you're better than this. And I enjoyed it because generally what tends to happen is when you're writing or creating that kind of character, you allow personal bias dictate
what you
so there's
bring
an overwhelming go away, leave me. Or there's an overwhelming managed situation as opposed to the reality of even the person themselves, like Adesua struggling because she loves him, and that's what people don't understand. The part that she never says she doesn't say she actually is like, yes, what he did was not good. But like, I love this man.
I actually chose to
have a child with this man.
And even with in the friendship, like sometimes it's not about saying leave him. Sometimes it's about doing the ones you can do, which is like reinforcing her own confidence. Like, so where he's breaking her confidence or, making her feel bad about who she is, your role as a friend is to make sure that isn't happening. Like that breakdown isn't happening. But I think another thing I really enjoy is the money conversations that the girls are having.
Yeah.
So we have this thing about how women were always talking about only boys, relationships, all that kind of stuff, which is beauty.
Anybody that has jammed real life, they've left all those ones.
Yeah.
Because I feel like we need to start talking more about things like Bamboo gives you access to US stocks. I'm getting 8% fixed return on my 8% return on my fixed income, as in on Bamboo. Sharing basic like ideas. Sharing basic ideas of
building your business.
Stock portfolio is improving. Those kind of conversations.
Like, this is what I'm doing.
This season, they're all trying to buy a property together. And you can imagine what that looks like when different people have different incomes, different obstacles.
Oh my gosh, that's so... Do you know the thing? If I don't have the income level that, like, let's say they're 4. If 2 people are putting up, let's say 60% of it, and I can't lie, I won't do it. I'll be too shy. Even if they encourage me, it's just a personal thing that I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm not pulling my weight. And it would not be anybody else. Fault. It would be my own just personal embarrassment and insecurity that we're not coming in on equal footing. And the thing is, I don't even want them to come on equal footing because that means we're bringing that value of the property. So I don't know. It's very... Things like this for me, wow, it would be so awkward.
I think it's about trust. And I think it's about how you ultimately manage disagreements as a unit. Because if that's something that you do well, something like buying a property together will not be as difficult as it is for other people. So in the book, like in Smart Money Tribe, the book, like the suggestions like come up with a constitution, rules and regulations for if X happens, what will we do in this scenario? If somebody wants to pull out their money, what happens? Because they're not exactly all like sitting with a bunch of cash like in the bank to buy the property. They're saving towards it like collectively to get to the point where
all of them
can
but I mean,
do it.
I haven't seen it, but I imagine because they're all in different places, they're all, whatever their contribution is, it might be the same in terms of effort. Everybody's contributing monthly, but
it's not the same. Yeah, it's not the same.
And I really liked was, so Tammy is a fashion designer, but it was that thing, or you start a business out of passion and you are excited about the tag of entrepreneur. You're clearly doing things. Like from the outside looking in, stuff is happening, but your money is trash.
Yeah,
like,
and
you don't actually know what you're doing.
Yeah.
So you're constantly like
trying to figure it out.
You're figuring it out, and everything is very scattered internally.
Yeah,
because you just don't really have a plan. Yeah. And so it's things like it's stuff like that is very, very real.
Yeah,
because a lot of the reason people don't talk about money is actually shame. People think it's other things. It's 100%. How am I going to tell my friends that think
I have this amount of money that I'm broke? Or I find I'm broke easier than like I just don't have as like, so we can't do this thing.
But you know what is so interesting? I feel like you're right. Shame is the biggest thing. But if you're not in a friendship circle where you can be vulnerable about your financial situation, are they really your friends?
Yeah, I think so. But you know the thing, money is honestly so sensitive.
It is.
Sometimes it's your personal shame. I'm judging myself.
So sensitive.
So I don't want Fake-Kemi to think of me the way I'm currently thinking of myself. So it's not even her. She will never say, you always talk to yourself the harshest. But if in my mind, I have to go and explain to FK how, considering the fact that we both, so this is even a perfect example. This podcast, me and Fake-Kemi share the exact same amount of money.
So if like we shared money and then 1 month later, one person has 0, another person went to invest it somewhere, we both have to look at ourselves like, okay now, surely the two of us got the same amount. You now, what did you go and do?
But isn't that where rubbing off on each other comes in?
The problem is it's just worse. It's
getting there.
And that's what I hope that Smart Money Woman does.
Yeah.
So people always think that it comes from a very preachy place of, oh, don't do this or do this and don't do that. I am no way perfect when it comes to my own personal finances.
Yeah.
I know all the theoretical things and I do my best, right? But for me, it's really about creating content that sparks conversation.
Yeah.
It's about creating content that is specific to our African, situation and coming up with practical strategies. So in this friendship group now, everybody, one is in oil and gas, one is a fashion designer, one is in real estate, one is a lawyer. Like they all have different obstacles. Arese is dealing with financial abuse in her marriage. Lara is dealing with black tax.
Yeah.
Tammy is trying to figure out how to be an entrepreneur in Nigeria. Tammy is trying to figure out how to be an entrepreneur in Nigeria. They're all grappling with different things. But what I love is they're finding ways to help each other. It's like what we were talking about with the earlier question, where you can't expect your friends to help you in the exact specific way, but maybe Lara is good with numbers, so she can help Tammy with her books. Maybe Zuri is, the person that is a good PR person. She can sell anybody's markets. And I think for me, Smart Money Tribe is about how we leveraging on those friendship circles. How are we making our friendship circles our money circles? Me, I'm the biggest evangelist for all my friends. Like, I feel like in another life, I would have been a PR person because I know how to sell anybody's. If I love somebody, like, I know how to sell anybody's, markets. And I feel like being your friend's, mouthpiece or PR, that's part of your job.
Even
and we need to find ways to add value to each other. So sometimes it's not monetary. You're not telling the person the business idea or pitching to them because they can give you money to do it. But you're pitching to them because maybe they're helping you refine your pitch. They're more articulate than you. They can help you put it together better so that you can be better in front of an investor. So it's about how are we leveraging, each other's strengths? How are we helping each other like plug like our weaknesses? There are times where like Maria, one of my best friends, because if you follow me on Instagram, then you know that I have 3 best friends that we've been friends since I was 10 years old, and I make a whole thing about it. But the friendship really, really like inspires me because we've gone through everything together, whether it's secondary school, university, child loss, divorce, marriage,
everything
all of
has
it.
Been there, yeah.
And how many years later, we still have such a strong, bond. I can be sitting in my room one day and Maria calls me. She's like, I'm in one meeting like this. They just started talking about funding and creatives in the blah, blah, blah. How soon can you get to XYZ? Because I was like, and the thing that it has nothing to do with her business or her line of work. But because what I'm doing is important to her, like, is always at the forefront, like, of her mind. And I think it is important as women for us to have those friendships and have that mindset about collaborating to compete.
What are the positive, amazing things that come to mind when you think of Nigeria? Is it our amazing culture, food, music, scenery, the people? All that fantastic stuff. See Nigeria with MTN is a fantastic opportunity to explore and showcase beauty in Nigeria and win fantastic rewards. To participate, 1. Create a 2-minute video of the sights and sounds around you and upload this video to your preferred social media platform. 2. Make sure you use the hashtags #SeeNiger and #SeeNiger and tag @MTNNG to your posts. Then visit mtn.ng/SeeNiger and click on Enter Competition. On the next page, fill in your details and include the link to your video posted on social media. Then check the box to agree to terms and conditions and click on Submit. Once your video is approved, get people to vote for your content so you can make the leaderboard. And finally, make sure you read the rules of the competition and make sure your content aligns with all the submission and guidelines. I really want one of our fantastic bouncers and watchers to win something. So guys, get to uploading. Right, back to the episode.
Yeah, making money.
Yeah, together. I think it's really important. I was going to ask that, like, because I was like, you have a group of friends. How much of, like, the stories are from not even just your core group of friends, but just, like, real life versus fiction?
So people always ask me this question. Are you Zuri? And they always ask me whether, like, the characters are my friends. But this is what I always say. I feel like every single character has a little bit of me in them. Every single character has a little bit of women I've met.
Yeah.
It has a little bit of my friends. But there's no character that is
after one person.
Yeah. So, for example, I think maybe the most obvious one is Lara's character is an oil and gas person. In Maria's office, there's nobody, you can't tell them that she's not Lara. Like, they believe like that she's Lara. She's like, no, but this didn't happen to me. This didn't whatever. But she's like, I all joined. Like, it's fine, I'm Lara. But all the oil and gas references that I have in the book, I got from Maria. Because I want it to be, accurate. So I don't know the industry. The most detail like I can get or firsthand information I can get, is from her. And to make it sound as realistic, the conversation sound as realistic, as possible. So she was like a big resource person for that character. But she's not in any way like, the character. But my friendship definitely inspires a lot of the way that I think about friendships when I'm writing.
Yeah.
Nice. I really
Super
like
interesting. I think that, because I find personally, because I think guys are more kind of, they sit down and they're talking. I find that when I sit, not necessarily one-on-one with my guy friends, but if I sit with like a group of 2 or 3 guys, then we're talking about money because they're talking about, how do we run? They're always talking about running something. There's always something that they're trying to run. And I'm just like, what are all these things that, or you guys are always trying to catch some opportunity. And it's just very different, like with my female friends, because one, not necessarily, everyone is obviously doing their business in there, but like, whenever like running after one run, honestly, you just see guys talking and they're just like, oh, this guy who works here just mentioned there's one, and I'm like, none of you do that. They're like, yeah, no, but we'll get it, and then and I'm just like, what are we all discussing here? Which industry is this?
Yeah.
And they're just like jumping into one, and he's like, oh no, we can run it. This is what we can do. And I'm just like,
because I think it's the way that we're sensitized to think about money, just even culturally.
Think about risk.
And exactly. Because I think that men from a young age, they've told
they're
them,
like, hustle.
You're going to be a provider.
You can.
Your family's financial future is based off of you and your efforts. So they're more likely to take more risks. And they're always on the lookout for opportunities.
And they're always discussing.
Exactly. So where women are shy to talk about opportunities, they're not. Men want to talk about their returns all the time. Like you, and I want a situation where women are saying, oh, I was looking at my Bamboo app. My Nvidia stock is up 198%. My Apple stock is up 24%.
Yeah.
Like, and we're sharing that information. And maybe because I said that, you want to download Bamboo and go and figure out how you're buying stocks, as well. It's about normalizing these conversations amongst like women. So not necessarily, so Smart Money Woman is not about how to get rich, how to become the next Dangote. It's about a very real topic, which is how to manage our personal finances and our limited resources under these circumstances.
The context of how we live.
Exactly. Like how are we making financial decisions in the context of our lifestyles or the vision that we've created for our lives? And what are we learning from each other, right? Like when we're having these conversations, because you don't know if you don't ask your friends. That's why I have a problem with people saying, "Oh, I can't talk to my friends about money," or "I'm so shameless." Like,
I think you have to be, because, for example, I would be so awkward asking. Obviously, you have a sense of like what people can afford.
Yeah,
but I don't. There's probably only one or two of my friends that I know what they earn. Because like we've had a conversation about this is what I earn and this is the money that I have, and it's just so interesting and deeply awkward because you're like, so how much do you actually see in a month? And we're both just like, I was like,
asking.
I said because I want to know.
Do you want to rob me?
No, I was just like, I have never like asked her. I just want to know, and she asked me, and we were both. The funny thing is that we were at lunch, and so we both wrote down what we thought, and both of us were completely wrong about the other person. Like, just completely. So it's like this funny, because even for your closest friend's perception is crazy. And we're both just completely wrong about everything. I said, very, very true.
Yeah. There are also class dynamics.
There are.
Expectations and obligations. There's a lot of stuff that, like, because a lot of people we also live in a society that's it's mostly unstructured. So there is the facade and hope that we all live in where it's like you're going to hit it big with this one thing. And so everybody is waiting till they feel braggable. Like what you're talking about.
To not talk about your money,
You don't want to be... There's a lot of shame around the perception of who you are and living up to it. So it's just... I think that is where it can be a little bit tricky. A lot of people... don't know how to have those conversations, particularly if it's with people they don't just love, but they also respect. So for instance, if I say to FK, maybe we should buy property together, I know for a fact that we're thinking along the same lines of property. And so it's easier for me to have that conversation. If we bring in other friends, one of our friends is quite wealthy, and I'm trying to imagine how
that conversation will go, because we know automatically that when we just say property, where her mind is, just by nature of where she's at in life, where her mind will go when we say property, my mind can never go there.
But isn't that inspiring?
It's
like, so the way that I see it is like, that would inspire me, that would ginger me. Like, I want you to tell me about things I've not heard about before. Me to let my own goals be as big as your own.
Okay, but
that's why we're friends.
That's what I'm saying. So me, I enjoy these stories, and I want you to tell me, and I like that.
It's
but
okay.
I don't know that I'll go and join you there.
But you see, this is where contentment comes in. I feel like it's okay to value where you presently are and still say, you know what, I aspire to be here without any shame. I have friends who are wealthier than me, and it does not matter.
Yeah.
There are times where we can go on a holiday, and what I can afford is to travel economy, and they can afford business, And I'm sitting in that economy seat proudly because that's what I can afford.
Yeah.
Like, and I think that you shouldn't be friends with people based off of what you have materially. Because when you don't have it anymore, how can you be friends? My own friendships are based off of shared values, shared history, the fact that we like certain things or we enjoy, certain things. Money can make, friendships awkward or whatever. But I think that if you're really coming from like an authentic place of love and respect, it's never going to be about, oh, Joya has less than me.
Yeah.
Or FK has more than me. It's going to be about the things that are important.
Yeah.
Love, respect. We're inspiring each other. Your success has nothing to do with me outside of me being proud of you and saying, oh, do you know what? Like, I aspire, to do this.
It definitely takes time, Sha, because there's a friend that, like, I met her casually, but we became really, really good friends and we talk about, like, work and business all the time. And I'll never forget the day I realized we were on vastly, like, I had an inkling, but we're on such vastly different levels because I was a bit frustrated and I was talking to her about something I was thinking of doing. And then she made reference to something. I let it go. I couldn't let it go. I came back. I said, sorry, I just want to check something. And she's quite open with me. And she was like, yeah, because her property portfolio. I said, oh, God, how could I do such a mistake? And I said, portfolio.
So more than one.
She now said, yes. She said, this is not a good conversation. I said, it's great, actually. In fact,
I love it.
I love it so much.
There's actually nothing I love more than
I said, actually, I
getting
love
in the
this
weeds.
conversation because we're about to go to lunch and guess who's not paying?
Yes.
But I think it took a while. And now what does happen is from time to time, like I check in with her, we talk about some stuff and I'm getting over this, like it's getting better genuinely, but there's sometimes still a twinge of, I hope she doesn't think this is ridiculous because my concerns are so vastly different from yours.
Yeah.
But I am now starting to understand why it's important to, because if both of us are just going off of impressions, there's no real progress, is there? Like there's no real, we're not really, we're still in hypotheticals. There's no real progress. There's no, oh, this is something. She said that she thought were beneath me. I said beneath. My dear.
We are all here.
We're all here. She said, oh, that she didn't know that this is something I would be interested in. I said, who is not interested in money? What are you talking about?
I find it very interesting when you actually get into it because they're like one or two of my friends who they're like finance babes. And it's so, the day we decided that we're actually going to get into it was so fascinating because she was just like, do you know that in my life, I never thought we'd be having this conversation. I said, why? She was just like, because obviously when we see, we just, but like, I just didn't think
that you
guys would be interested in like, okay, this is actually what's going on. This is what I think is going to happen. Like, I don't think we should be doing this sort of thing. I think we should be putting money here. Like, this is what I'm seeing. Industries. And she was like, I promise you, it's not that anything was happening that I didn't bring it up. I just thought, oh, they don't care about this now. I said, but it's not money. And she was like, yeah, but like, everybody's making money. Everyone seems like comfy and fine. And she was even just coming down to, obviously, if you live, abroad, there's certain things you finance that we would buy in cash here. So she was just like, look, there are things that I would never pay full for because these are options you can get even in Nigeria. And it was a whole thing. And we're all just like, wow, so all of us have just been friends for a long time and we've been clowns. And you've been here looking at us being foolish. And none of us ever thought to say, come, why don't you actually just tell her, what is it that, Shebi say you're working there? Okay, what are they doing in that place? What's every day now? What are you, it's so interesting. And now, it's really, really, I find it deeply fascinating because it's just like, okay, we're grown now. And like people are making grown decisions. Yeah. People are trying to buy property. People are like
having children,
people are investing. People are saving. People are figuring out Naira dollar, savings. People are doing there's crypto somewhere.
I have
people
a friend
are doing all sorts of things.
He's about to retire his parents, and that is mind blowing.
I find it crazy.
That's amazing.
That is mind blowing to me. He was just like, him and his wife had planned on like retiring their parents, and so they've been working on. I mean, he's in his 40s, and he just wants them to like
stop working, to be done.
Because his dad wants to kind of start not have to work for money so he can become like a teacher. And it was just, we had this really adult conversation, and it was like, so they're going to they can do it. But it also means there are going to be some lifestyle changes, and they are now, because they planned for it, they are now kind of like happy to do that. Her parents are they are much better off. So that is not something they are interested in. Like, they don't understand what you mean. You want to say, I have money.
Yeah.
And I just thought it was very interesting, to see what those things look like. And so I'm like, oh, does that mean like you're changing your children's schools? They were like, oh no, nothing like that. But it means some of their more luxury lifestyle things are just going to take it back
for now.
It's honestly really interesting. I can't remember what. So I saw my friend with a bag, and I was like, where do you get this? And she was like, what's funny is that she had never bought a new bag before. I said, I would have sworn, because every time I'm like, come, are you into fraud? I said, because every 2 business days,
say new bag.
She said, my dear, find the runway, Veste, Collective, go and look it up. Once they say they're doing sale or somebody's pre-loved, one thing, I'm there like mad. So what you saw last year, I've sold all of them. I've bought a new one. She said she has run the one with monthly membership. She's exchanging the bag every month. It's people that deceive you. She was like, Shebi, I've carried white. She was like, what the hell I buy a bright yellow bag? I've worn it. Congrats to me. We've moved on. And I was just like, this is so funny, because every time I'm just thinking, am I a fool?
No, we just don't know.
Why am I not making? And she's like,
it's a lack of knowledge.
She's like, honestly, have you seen the prices of the new bag? Once I see anything concerning pre-loved prime condition, I'm there.
Before we go, I wanted to ask you about something else that's important in the book, which is like love and relationships and how it affects money. So Adesua is married, but all the other girls kind of have different situations. And people are very dishonest. Again, like I said, we talk in hypotheticals all the time. Everybody is rich online. Everybody's lifestyle is fabulous. Everybody only dates people who do X and Y and talk about X and Y. But the reality of it is that who you are with definitely has an impact on your finances, particularly in the kind of country we live in and the economy we're currently dealing with. And from a women's perspective, in theory, we have the protector, provider story. But in the book and in a lot of realities, women have their own money, are working towards their own money, are trying to figure out their own thing independently of men. It's still important to them, obviously, but the dynamics of how that works. So the most obvious one is that Adesua is going through, it's not small, it's like severe financial abuse, right? She keeps her head up, but it's severe financial abuse. Yeah. But even within the context of dating and what that means with money, I wanted us to just talk a little bit about it because
it's really interesting, and people try to act like it's. So look, even if you're not dating for money, but we're not talking about that. So I just want to be clear, we're not talking about going at someone for money. We're just talking about you meet somebody and there are financial dynamics involved. However, the dynamics dynamics exist, and I think there's questions of even when do you even start talking about the dynamics. Kind of, what kind of things are you looking at? Because I find it's so interesting because everybody's situation is different and you just meet a new person and, all of a sudden your financial dynamics come into play.
Yeah. I think it's very tricky and I think it's personality based. Me, when it comes to love and money, I don't like giving people advice because I don't know anything. I'm figuring it out like every day.
Yeah.
Like
One second.
Have I had that on my mouth?
No.
Okay. So I'm figuring it out every day, like every other Nigerian woman. As in, I feel like me personally, what my ideal situation is, I'm financially independent. I can look after myself. I don't need anybody to, pay my bills. I can feed myself. But I'm with somebody who likes to help.
Yeah.
Likes to
it's also financially buoyant.
Things that I value acts of service. I feel like I always want to feel like I'm being looked after in one way or the other, whether it's emotionally, whether it's financially. And it can be small things. I'm not asking for a house, but things like paying for dinners, holidays, that kind of
fine petrol.
You know what I love? Can I just say, you know what I love about women? We just say, oh, it's the little things. For example, a holiday abroad.
No, but I think it's really important and it's really interesting because, like, even from talking to your friends or trying to figure stuff out, I talk to a lot of my married friends about how they figure out money and finances. And that is the hardest thing.
It's super interesting because you're both coming from different places, different backgrounds, different levels of knowledge.
And it's important to ask questions because whether you like it or not, money is a very big part of relationships.
Yeah.
So things as simple as how long is the generator going to be on for?
Girl!
Like, listen.
I'm prone to be
like
because if I come from a house where, we are not getting it.
Yes.
You can now, so you have to manage it.
That is a very serious quarrel. Like in a household. Like, let me tell you something. If somebody is coming from a household where Jen is on 24 hours or whenever there's no lights, and the other person is coming from a house where they put it off 6, they put it off at 12 midnight, and it's not going to work if you don't have the conversation about how you manage that.
Yeah.
Even ask questions like, if you are in debt, and these are the bills that we have to pay.
What's priority?
School fees, food, paying back the debt. Like, what is your number 1? What is your number 10?
Oh, that's a good question.
That's a very good question.
Things like...
I think even things like
even
priority of spending.
Yes.
So you can have people that like... I've seen... My friend has been in a situation where they were both doing well. He was doing very well. He just didn't like to spend money. And she, no matter how much she has, enjoyment must be had. That money, she must. So it's not like she's not working as well. She was doing quite well. He was doing much better or whatever. But he just
didn't understand.
Like she would be like, oh, let's go for dinner here. A place that she would go to dinner with her friends and pay. And he's just like, oh no, like it's frivolous. And she's like, you are very rich. Like, I should, and then she'd be like, I don't actually mind paying. But because he fundamentally believes this is a waste of money.
Yeah, he doesn't want to participate.
It caused so many issues with them because she would say, let's go on holiday. And he's like,
that's a waste.
For what?
Yeah.
Like, we went somewhere 6 months ago. All you want to go again. Like, it's not the same thing. Beach,
Do you know, you're even talking about all those type of things. Figuring out who somebody is when they owe people money is also something.
Yeah.
Are they the type of person that picks up the phone when debtors are calling?
Yeah.
Or are they the type of person that, like, will be avoidance and say it will solve itself, like, later? Do they think, oh, if I owe people money, let me borrow to replace it? Or do they think, how do I create another income stream that can, replace, like, pay off this debt kind of thing? Or who are they when it comes to taking risks?
Yeah.
If somebody's a gambler and can take their whole salary,
like if you have an opportunity and you want to put our house down,
exactly,
because you're an entrepreneur,
or they don't feel like certain schools are worth the money, and that's something that's important to you, or they think extracurriculars are a waste of time. Let's just focus on school. All this one that you say, you come and say you want your swimming lesson, or you want your kids to learn to play. So, for instance, like I remember one whole thing where when my brother wanted to learn to play an instrument, my dad was like, choose anything. And the teacher was like, she was quite pleased because she said there's some parents that say, no, that's just a waste. Like violin or no, piano. Or no, you do piano, you do sax. One of those two, flutes. But I think, but genuinely, like, those are the kind of things that people are not talking about. Like,
or men saying things like, oh, why do they have to go to big man school like St. Saviour's? But you are spending the same amount of money on champagne in the club.
Yeah, so it's also financial priorities.
Your child's education is not as important.
If I want to spend money on something and you want to go out and pop bottles and I'm like, this doesn't make sense. Let's pack all the money. Let's travel. Let's leave this country. And you're like, see, Friday nights, I just want to be drinking champagne. You are Santorini. That's your business.
Yeah.
Me, I want to be in the club. I want to be. So it's the same money, but like you both suddenly have very different ideas.
Or if someone deals with black tax and one person doesn't.
That
is also
a huge thing.
But I think that's why having the conversations are so important, because it becomes interesting.
At what point do you have this conversation?
That's what I wanted to ask you.
That's actually the question that I have.
When do you think is a good time to be like, okay...
Before you've made any permanent decisions, like having a child or getting married.
No, that's far. Let me not lie. That's so far out. Once you're even getting into the because there's a like, oh, you're together.
Mm-hmm.
I can't lie. I feel like maybe not all, but some of these things need to...
Because you know why I'm saying
out.
Before you make any permanent decisions, because you can ask all the questioning or having conversations and asking these questions are very important. But the thing is that people lie. Or people say the things that they think you want to hear, but it's only behavior over a period of time that can really tell you how people deal with situations. So when they're actually in those scenarios and you looking out for how are they dealing with debt, how are they dealing with the pressure of bills.
Yeah.
Like having those conversations, great, but watching their pattern of behavior like is so much more important.
Like there was someone that I almost never mind. Anyway. But
you almost did what?
I realized that he was easily peer pressured financially. And he used to... We didn't go far at all because I just realized that his entire thing was never internally driven. It was all external. So car,
that's a big one.
Apart where he lived, places he would want to take me. It was never like, oh, I thought you would like this. It's like, oh, I heard that this is where people are going. Or just, that. And I realized that this person will always be under pressure. Yeah. And I just didn't respect it. But I think it's not something that we're taught to pay attention to in terms of like money habits and what that means. Like if you're both religious, how religious are you? Like does somebody believe in paying tithe and somebody doesn't?
Doesn't. And
that
so
makes
you're like,
okay. I think it's, we're only talking about like the negatives, but I think the positives of having these conversations sometimes is, so for example, if the guy is an entrepreneur, maybe the information he needs to get from that conversation is, I need to be with somebody that has a stable 9-to-5 job so that I can afford to take these risks, right? Yeah. And you're making concessions like for each other. So I love this person and they have to deal with black tax. How in our own family dynamics are we going to make that
make up for it?
Make up for it. So I think conversation.
Yeah, it's really interesting because you meet so many different dynamics and you're like, oh wow, this does not happen on my own side, or I would never have considered this to be a thing. But like, fantastic. That's like, if that's what you want to do. Like, I don't particularly believe in... I know someone who saves, no jokes, 70% of his income. And I'm always like, guy, for what? Because I'm just like, I've known you for a long time and you're constantly... And he's not complaining about anything in life, but I'm like, you're constantly saving for this huge rainy day that I am concerned that your life
you're not actually
is not being lived. Because you are like making sure, and I know where it came from. Yeah. His dad passed away, and all of a sudden they didn't have anything.
Money anxiety.
Didn't have anything, and he was like, never. Anything happens to anybody, there is a war chest. But I'm like, the problem with your war chest is that, you're not actually living. And so him and baby are always getting where she's like, listen, we have to live also. Like, I'm not saying we should do anything extravagant, but like,
it's about finding a balance.
She's like, not even me, you now. And it's your birthday. Like, let's enjoy your, what do you want?
Like, let's be for
and he's just
real.
like, no. There's no need to do. And she's like, hey, yeah. So the money is just piling up somewhere. And obviously you have to understand where it's coming from psychologically, but it's completely different. Me, I'm just like, whoa, anyone that wants to happen? So I don't know. It's very interesting watching all these dynamics. Like, I know I recently met someone who does not believe in ordering out.
Oh my God. This is a thing.
I'm not joking.
Mr. There's rice at home.
Do you know the funniest part about it is he cooks. But
I don't want his food.
That's what's happening. So I'm just like, he was like, the thing is that he's just like, as in,
why?
For him, and he's one of those people that like, the enjoyment of the food is not that serious.
All right.
He wants to eat, he wants to be full, he wants to move on.
I have a friend that said food is fuel.
He's like, what? I don't understand. He's like, if it's a social gathering, then we go for dinner and I'm with my friends, I will spend the money on the food. But that this thing you people do
just
let's
me
have
on
dinner.
my own.
I'll just be in my house. I'll now order
I feel like eating
food
the
from one
salad
place
from
that this is
Slow.
what I'm craving. He said, I'm hungry. Whatever is available is what I'll eat. He was like, if it's like I'm meeting up with my friend, no issue, or like my friends are in my house. He's like, it's not I don't believe in ordering food as a, he's like, but if it's not a social food sharing, that only me one, I should call the restaurant, then they should deliver to me, then me, I'll pay that money. Nobody is here. Nobody is eating the food, only me. He said, wow.
Oh my God, me that even like people sending me food. I like guys that
said, guy, I can't like
this salad from here. Or
I said, this is a tough time for you. Yeah. He said that was like he's not thriving in this social scene because he's just like, I just don't get it. He's like, so I can make stew, there's rice. And I'm like, yeah, but how many times do you? He said, every time. Every time. Because it's food. Yeah. When I go out with my friends, I'll eat steak or whatever. In my house, which one is steak? I said, God, I beg. He was like, he doesn't understand all these things. Someone say, oh, you want a chef? That what?
But you know that I think in relationships, I hate that thing where people shame what the other person values. Like, so even if it's not your thing,
you just have to balance. Two of you now have to balance.
But guess what?
Me, I was like, let me lie to you. It's good that we're friends. Yeah. I can never balance.
Like,
there's nothing I love more than being alone. And thinking, what else eat?
Food controls a large portion of
it's actually so important. I'm always like, so what will I eat to spark joy? He said,
oh my God.
Joy. He said, what I say? He said, it's not correct that that is sparking joy for you. It's rice.
But yeah, where can people watch? You said YouTube. What day, what time does it come out?
So October 31st, we are streaming on YouTube, or we start streaming on YouTube. We're going to put them out 2 episodes at a time.
Okay. Every week?
So every week.
Okay.
Every week. So it should be pretty interesting.
How many episodes
Subscribe to Azua Studios YouTube channel, guys. We're doing this is such an interesting pivot because you don't find prestige content like this on YouTube. So I'm very interested in seeing how it pans out. So wish us luck. Or really being like the underdogs here and, trying to do something that is scary and risky, but I feel like it's going to pay off.
What made you go this path?
Ultimately, we couldn't come to a deal with an international streamer that was reflective of the value that we had created.
Yeah.
So we shot in 3 cities. So Cape Town, Joburg, Lagos. This season is like so much bigger and better than, season 1. And when we were on, Netflix for season 1, we were in top 10 for like 12 weeks. And it did really well. And I feel like this one is so much better than that. But I guess it's the audience that's going to tell us. Last, like this thing that I've been carrying on my back for the last 2 years. It's the audience that's going to tell us whether, they like it, or not. So I hope that, we get the views. I hope that people love it as much as we loved creating it. It was so chaotic.
I want to see the conversation.
Same.
Because that was what I enjoyed.
I'm really curious. I enjoyed like the friendship dynamics, but I also really enjoyed just the conversations and thinking to myself, how would I be in this situation? Like if I was in this situation, which one of them would I be? Basically. Or like in terms of what they're saying. It's very fascinating. And I think it should maybe we should try, if they're having this conversation, us two, we should have it. And see how it plays out.
And something else that's so interesting is we've partnered with Bamboo. They're giving away $5,000.
Okay, good.
To 10
that's what
women.
I love to hear.
10 women. Yes, to 10 women. So
sorry, 5K each of us.
Yeah. No, 500. 500. 500 FK.
No. For me, the clarification is important. Let me know how I'm doing my thing.
Yeah. So each week we'll put out tasks for people to do. But the bottom line is you have to be subscribed to our YouTube channel, Azua Studios, and you have to have the Bamboo app.
Yeah.
And have at least $20 in your Bamboo
wallet.
But like women are going to be winning $500. And we're actually partnering with quite a few different like brands to give away things because I want this experience to just be as fun as possible. And this economy is tough.
Yeah.
So we're trying to partner with brands that either help people on their way to their investment journey or, financially, or help to reduce like their burden, like in one way or the other. So subscribe to the channel so that you can have access to these, opportunities. But yeah, I'm very, very excited. I have to report to Jolasha.
Okay.
Because
that's what I
season
love
2,
to hear.
I remember when we started trying to put season 2 together, me and Jola had a conversation about how we were going to write it together.
Oh, God.
First, she was just posting me.
Good.
I was chasing her up and down Lagos.
This is very good.
Chasing her up and down Lagos and I could not find her.
Jola.
Then one day she finally sends me this long, detailed, thank you for the opportunity. But Arese, I was focused on my own life, on my own projects. You're on your own. And I was like, Jola, do you know that I wrote the first episode so that I could be like, okay, let's get this ball rolling. This is where I'm thinking. She read it and she said, you can do this by yourself. you don't need me. I was like, wow.
She had written it already now.
Like, wow, she abandoned me in the middle of the process.
Why did you abandon her?
I didn't abandon her.
Why did you abandon her in the middle of her project?
It wasn't in the middle, it was in the beginning. I didn't
abandon her at the beginning.
In the beginning. No, I didn't have time. I wanted to work on other things. I was already working on other things.
Whatever.
But fair enough. And
but
it's come out,
still
and then she'll see. So don't worry about it.
I'll come and meet you after they've criticized my work as in on YouTube.
No, but that's the only
they
way
will know whether I should.
That's the way to
that's the way to go. If people don't say, if people don't critique the work,
they're not watching.
You've actually done like I love Hallmark stuff, but that's the thing that gets the least critiqued because it appeals to such a broad base. If people don't say, that's why people are afraid to do stuff because it's hurtful. But it's only when people are able to engage enough to critique the work that you've done something.
Yeah.
If not, quite frankly, the criticism we run away from is because we personally get so hurt. Like the work is a lot.
Yeah.
But if they're not saying, come, that means they're paying attention.
I think for me, I'm not afraid of criticism. I think the criticism I'm afraid of is usually of myself, right? Because I think when I've put my best foot forward, when I've tried my best and I know that, okay, do you know what? I did everything that I could possibly do. Even if people criticize it, I'm fine because I know I tried my best. Where I hate it is when I've not done my best.
And then you have to put it out.
And then I have to put it out there. But I think as chaotic as this season was to produce, because my God, like that 3 Cities thing, we raised money when dollar to naira was 500, 600.
Oh my God.
And we finished. In fact, there was one payment I made last week when dollar was 1.7. So, dollar is 1.7 now. So you can imagine what that is like. But it was chaotic, but I'm so proud of the work, that we put in. At one point, we had to bring a South African team to Lagos to complete it. And it was just so eye-opening. Like, in terms of like problem solving, in terms of like what is possible production-wise in this, part of the world. But I'm very excited to see how people like respond to the themes in this season, how they respond to like the character development, the situations, because there's some controversial stuff in it, like religious financial abuse, like stuff that we don't.
When like a show is very good is when everybody is in a discussion and a bit of a tussle back and forth. I remember one of my favorite things on Twitter that year was like after an Insecure episode comes out.
Yes.
And everybody is just, where everybody has taken a stand. And it's just like, whether you agree with the way they did it or not, is creating something. I feel like if nobody's saying anything,
then that,
tough times. But all my favorite shows, I can battle.
Yeah. And you've made it accessible, which is great. It's hard. It's a hard balance to like figure out like, okay, we want lots of people to watch it, but we need to get paid for our shit.
Yeah.
But I think that, fingers crossed, like I'm really excited. I do think that it's going to be pretty dope. So very well done.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming.
Looking forward
Everybody
to
subscribe to Azua
Studios on YouTube.
We'll be there like mad.
We will be there.
You guys hosting
how many episodes is it? in total?
10 episodes.
10 episodes. So
5
weeks. 5 weeks.
5 weeks.
Love it. I have a love-hate relationship with like this new because
dropping it.
Before we were used to episodes dropping. Then everybody scattered it. Then everybody's bringing it back. And I'm like, okay, but I've grown impatient. So what should we all now
Like now
do?
I'm watching Prison Break. I never watched it. I'm just starting it. And I'm like, okay, so one thing was happening per episode.
Yeah.
One. They are solving one problem.
It's so crazy.
Every week. For 22 weeks.
Yeah. I'm like, do you know how mad this would have driven me if I was watching it week to week?
Imagine watching Lost that year.
Oh my God.
Lost was
dragging the thing out. I said, I love to watch a show that has, when I open it, I'm like, see 5 seasons.
No, but I like the weekly thing because it also gives you time and space to think. Because sometimes what happens now is like you're watching to get to the end so you can just say something. But now you have time. By Wednesday, you'll be like, no, actually, surgery is not that bad.
Yeah. I really loved that's why I really liked Insecure. It was great. And the discussion, which I think this will have because of the type of show it is. The discussion, Succession was like that, and there are plenty of debates. So
Game of Thrones.
Yeah. Which I never watched actually.
Weekly.
But
It's harder.
I also want to say that both of you didn't come to the premiere, even if I invited you.
I had a bridal shower.
You owe me.
You owe me.
And I will be collecting my own publicity.
This is not a public statement. I'm happy. You should collect it. That's this. But we'll be there. On the 31st.
This is a good thing because we're starting a film club.
Yeah.
I have lots to say.
We should be there.
Like
31st. There's nothing I love more than discussing theoretical shows.
Nothing to do with other people's wahala.
I love TV characters problem. Nothing I love more than discussing because how it concerns me, zero. Yeah. So I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to be great. Looking forward to seeing who you've added to the cast for this season.
And what they get up to.
Yeah. It should be fun.
Free Bobby.
Bobby should get out.
All right, guys. Thank you. And we'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.
Hello, boys and girls.
No hello.
Okay.
No hello for them. Okay. This is not for
boys and girls only.
Boys and girls. I want to ask you a simple question.
Very simple.
Why are 40-something% of you that watch this thing not subscribed?
Very good.
Is it fair?
Very good.
Is it
other
good?
people's channels that you don't listen to every week, you subscribe to them?
Free
how
content.
we do for you.
Do you pay? You come here, we make fools of ourselves every week.
Having a great time. Subscribe early. I don't understand it.
Why would you do that?
Is it right?
No. In case you don't know, no. It's not right. Okay? So now, you see that button. Nobody will beat you. Okay, do you know what? You can even cover.
Do it in a shy,
do it in a shy
mysterious way.
So nobody will
just, oh my God.
Click on the subscribe.
Oh my God.
That's all. God bless you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.